Hello, everybody. We're ringing in the EDH Takes New Year. Yes, it starts in March. So we're finally making something this year. Be grateful. I'm Elijah Samuelson, and I'm joined here with
me, Spencer
Cook, and we have our friend Thomas here today.
Hey, what's going on?
Who is the leading Simic expert in North Dakota.
Oof, I don't know about that. That's high prestige, but I appreciate it.
Might be some people that get your goat for that. Get your goat for that.
Absolutely, yeah.
That will contest you for that role.
Yeah.
But today, we're going to be doing the Simic tier list, the long-awaited tier list. We've been saving this one for last because Simic is Eli's favorite color combination.
Yeah, we saved the best for last,
as
right? They would all say.
Yeah, well, before we get into it, I just want to say that the way that these tier lists generally work is, it's not like a super objective thing. It's a pretty subjective tier list. Some of the criteria that we use are not necessarily like a CEDH deck. It's a casual commander tier list. We try to factor in a lot of different things. There's no one or two or three criteria, so it's not super scientific in that sense.
Yeah, it could be, does it look fun? Does it look powerful? Have we seen it be powerful? And then we got Thomas here to provide whatever criteria that he wants to.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't recommend you build a deck off of our advice, but if you want to, you'll probably be the best one at the table.
Exactly. So, before we get into just the first one, what's everyone's experience with Simic commanders? Have you guys played a lot of Simic?
I don't think I've ever had a Simic commander deck.
And why would you say that, Eli?
Well, to put it lightly, I hate Simic.
Yeah.
So much.
Oh, wow.
It's ever since I got into Commander, I always remembered everyone saying, "Oh, Simic is the best, bar none." I've played against a lot of Simic decks. I think it's the favorite color combination of multiple friends of mine, and so it's been the bane of my existence since I started playing this format.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not saying that they're always playing like really overpowered Simic decks. It's just so they do a certain couple of things there. So I don't know. What do you think, Thomas?
Well,
you're a Simic lover, so
yeah,
we're at odds
I'm a
here.
bit of a Simic simp, really, if you want to put it like that.
I'd say that.
If there was an OnlyFans for Simic, just the color, it'd be number one. I'd be top tier, biggest subscriber, 1%.
Just post the pictures of all the commanders,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Please do. And then show me the most degenerate. Show me how many different times you can blink that Paladin.
Exactly.
Show me how many times you can go infinite. Because that stuff, I think that's what's really nice about the color is it's very, it can be super one-dimensional, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if you want to, go a little mathy about it or something, it can open itself up,
You like that one dimension.
Cool
yeah, there's the whole Quandrix, like you said, math kind of stuff, right? That's the theme.
That.
I know, but it's true.
Dang it. You got me.
Math is magical, everybody. It's so cool and quirky funny.
Yeah.
Strixhaven University.
Woohoo, here we go.
I think one thing that I have to say, I've played probably 4 or 5 Simic decks, and I'm I guess in between both of you. I like some Simic, but one of the things, as of late, I haven't played a lot of Simic because sometimes it feels maybe a little too easy in the sense that I feel like a lot of Simic decks, or there's at least several commanders that have been really powerful that really fit under the theme of play the game, get to draw cards and put lands into play kind of thing.
Yeah, Thomas, have you ever heard the Magic personality, Dana Roach's views on Simic? He's said something along the lines of it's like playing Commander with training wheels on. How do you feel about that sort of thought process?
I guess that perspective, it's reasonable. I guess it all depends on how you want to approach it. You can absolutely, it is definitely one of the biggest. You just ramp cards out and you just kind of play good stuff and win, right?
Commander, ramp and card draw.
Yeah, except it's just Simic, right?
Yeah.
Simic is kind of the penultimate commander colors, honestly.
Sitting atop the golden throne of those two things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to have a similar view as Dana does on the Sultai color combination, but then after seeing how aggressive Dana could be with that stance a few times, it forced me to re-examine that belief and think about it. Well, if this makes for better experience for the majority of players, if they enjoy doing this, there's there's really nothing wrong with that, and saying something disparaging like it's training wheels, I think, is not very
not very
not very
It
welcoming.
really depends who you're playing with, though.
yeah.
You just want to disparage that guy who keeps blinking out that Palinchron, turn 2, or
I do
doing
like to do that.
turnabout plays.
Like to disparage that guy.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
is.
Get him just like, hey, dude, your mom just texted me. She's here to pick you up.
Yeah.
She's got my other son's a Simic player.
Okay.
Gross.
Yeah, I think if I have a new commander player and I want to give them a color combination that they can just play the game, hit their lands, draw cards, have something to do, I'd maybe tell them Simic because I want them to have a good time, and it's a good color combination.
That's true.
And to be real, and I'm sure green has this thing too. It's one of the nice things about playing green. People aren't going to touch your lands.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't have to be playing a bunch of artifacts that'll get wiped away.
No, because obviously, if you're playing a problematic one like Gaia's Cradle or the zombie one,
Field of Dead.
Yeah, Field of the Dead.
Yeah,
You can blow that up, but otherwise you're gonna ramp and just laugh on all your lands, and they're just gonna be crying and just
They're gonna be crying and dying.
crying and dying, dude.
All right. Well, what do you say we get into this? Start off with we're going to go in alphabetical order here. So, Eli, why don't you give us this first card? And we're going to put the commanders up in S tier while we talk about them. That's not where they're going to be necessarily.
Yeah, we'll start off with I think the lead commander of the Strixhaven Quandrix Precon, Adrix and Nev Twincasters. It's a 4-mana 2/2 Merfolk Wizard with Ward 2, and it says if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. It's nice and simple.
Nice and simple.
Right, easy.
There was some discourse recently about the types of cards being kind of toxic for the format, and those are cards that say do thing but double, or double the amount of times you do this thing. And I think that in some sense reigns true. Like, if you're doubling something, I think it's inherently has that level of power in Commander as opposed to other formats. So
it's very attractive, too.
Yeah, everyone loves to go big, right?
Oh, absolutely. And to go back earlier, if you're a newer player too, something that simple, it's something easy to work with.
And this is a precon, right?
And there's
too?
nothing really that restrictive about it. Aside from that, you need to be making tokens, and we all know there's,
you can do a lot of different
cards that can do that.
things with this. You could go creature tokens. You can be doubling treasure tokens. You can do stuff like that. Thomas, what's your overall thought about this card in terms of how good is it? Do you think it's super strong? You thinking? I'm not asking you to necessarily say a tier right now, but what's your vibe on it? What's your vibe check?
I think that ultimately it can be very strong, but really, it just kind of sits in the middle of the road for me.
Yeah,
because it's 4 mana, which obviously isn't that hard to get, but it's got Ward 2, which is really nice.
Yeah, that is true.
That's super. Just give it hexproof, right? But then its accessibility is super nice with the doubling.
Yeah, and you have to think about it in terms of other Simic commanders, right? Because there's a lot of good Simic commanders.
Right.
And I feel like one thing that if you're gonna not have draw a card or ramp on your Simic commander.
Yep. What does it do?
And kind of what we're doing here is this is just a comparison within the Simic commander. So like an S tier in here isn't going to stack up necessarily against an S tier in the Boros tier list. It's just we're comparing them against each other. So yeah, based on that, personally, I love tokens, but I think tokens might be one of the most fragile archetypes in EDH.
It's kind of rough.
Yeah. Because what is your token deck doing without a doubler?
And also, the amount of times you just come across people playing effects that will just destroy all 0 mana cost, permanents.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it happens more than you think.
Or your people's cyclonic rifts and balance board wipes just destroy those tokens. They're just gone. So
some people just want to blow up the world. So I don't know. I don't think it's S tier. I don't think it's A tier. I'm thinking maybe B tier, or what are you guys thinking?
What do you think, Thomas?
I'm thinking B tier.
I like B tier too because
It's
tokens.
It's a nice solid.
Yeah,
it's solid.
It's got that double word in there.
Yep, exactly, and they love it. It's got Ward 2. It's got great evasion.
Tokens are kind of fragile, but that's a very good commander for a token deck.
Draw me some cards.
If there's any deck where I could recommend playing that big 6 mana, tap a land, make a treasure token card, maybe this deck. Mm-hmm. So,
sure.
Let's move on. Yeah, we got now we were talking earlier, Eli, about you were saying you would be comfortable giving a new player a deck and seeing they could just play the game with it. I think this is kind of the epitome of that in that sense. This is Aesi, Tyrant of Gyre Strait. It's a 6-mana 5/5 Serpent with the ability you may play an additional land on each of your turns, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card.
You were saying the thing about the discourse with doubling and how maybe it's kind of a toxic design. I think this is the other toxic design of Commander. Do a thing, draw a card.
Yeah. I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, but this is Tatyova, but 1 more mana and a little different. It's kind of weird how they just made that card again, but...
You ever play Aesi, Thomas?
I haven't played it as a commander, but I've definitely ran it in the 99, and actually, it's a good card.
Yeah, I mean...
It's just straight fine. I'm never disappointed seeing it. Unless I don't have the mana, of course, but... You're playing Simic. When is that the problem?
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily compare it like exactly to Tatyova, but it's hard not to, right?
Yeah.
Because it's 1 more mana, and and the thing it adds for that is an additional land drop, right?
Yeah.
Which is
that's solid.
It's a 5/5.
If you're assuming that like it's being removed, it's kind of the same sort of thing.
Although, and I think one of the best features about it too is that it's a serpent.
True, that's a plus.
All you sea folk fanatics out there, you can play your serpent decks. You can pair it with your crabs and your Polar Kraken. Wait.
What is
Guys,
that?
I don't think Polar Kraken's a serpent.
Is it a Kraken?
It's probably a Kraken, yeah.
That would make...
Whoa!
Well, I think like what is the Whelming Wave? It's like bounce all creatures there for like serpents,
Wave,
leviathans, like whatever.
Yeah.
Kraken. There's like a bunch of those things. I don't know which ones it considers not, but I don't... Yeah,
I think that kind of niche aspect about it even bumps it up a little more too.
Personally, if I had to make a Simic deck, like gun to my head, sea serpents, sea monsters.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah,
just play big dumb creatures. Aesi could be a good commander for that, but I think it's very very threatening, maybe too threatening.
Oh
yeah.
Just exist.
In that sense, I'm a little bit like I think it actually is quite a bit worse than Tatyova, because I think that 1 mana and it being more threatening actually matters, whereas Tatyova is like it's easier to get down and play your fetch land. This, I don't know, you maybe wait till turn, I guess you don't have to wait till turn 7 because it gives you the extra land, but I think it's at least a little bit worse than Tatyova by a decent margin, personally.
I would say though, I mean, giving you the extra land, right? Like even if it gets board wiped the next turn, it helps you just
Play
keep recasting it.
That's true. That's true.
That's something it has on Tatyova.
So I guess maybe I feel like I want to put Tatyova inside of like the 99 more than I want to put this in the 99. But I guess that's not what we're talking about, right? So, what do you guys think? Do you have a thought about a letter for this?
I think worse than Tatyova is still really really good.
Yeah.
I think I might want to put that in like the S tier.
Think this is an S tier?
I think play a land, draw a card.
Sure. I mean,
that's reasonable.
Or even just enter the battlefield, draw a card is crazy.
That's fine.
But I gotta say, I definitely would be, a little more scared of Tatyova. Seeing a Tatyova, that 1 mana extra to just get her down. That means turn 6, or next turn, you're just probably going to win.
And she gains you so much life back, too.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really pressure as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I suppose we'll get to Tatyova.
Sure, yeah, in ages from now. I'm leaning more towards A tier for this, but I'm fine putting it in S for now. Maybe we change later, maybe not.
Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
see.
There's always, we're only 2 in, so.
Yeah, if we end up putting like 10 in S tier, maybe maybe we move some things down.
Maybe Simic's just...
All right, Thomas, you want to read Alaundo?
All right, here we go. Boy, howdy. Alaundo the Seer, legendary creature, human shaman. Tap, draw a card, then exile a card from your hand and put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value. It gains when the last time counter is removed from this card. If it's exiled, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn. Then remove a time counter from each other card you own in exile.
And he's 4 mana.
Boy, howdy. Yep, 2 in a Simic.
That's a lot of text for...
That is obscene. Why do they have to do this? Why can't they just say, hey, it gets suspend?
Yeah.
It's
pretty much suspend, yeah.
Like, I get it. They want to keep suspending with time spiral or whatever weird rationale Rosewater has, but for this, I think it's appropriate. Like, who wants to read a book? I don't come to play Magic to read. I know you read the card, explains the card, but sometimes I don't want to know what the card
Well,
does.
Thomas, if you look at the card...
It's just too much.
He's literally reading a book in the art.
He looks like he's comatose.
Yeah.
It looks like he's drooling. Like, he doesn't want to read the book either. He's me when I see this card.
Yeah.
It's just, I've only played against it once, and it's just, I really hope the pilot knows what they're doing.
Did you see anything cool happen, Thomas, when you played against this deck?
Well, no, because I was comatose all the time.
Just blacked out.
Yeah, they would do something, they would do something, and I would just sure.
I don't know what you're doing, but I trust you over there.
Absolutely.
That's my approach a lot
Yeah,
nowadays.
it's right. Oh, you exile a thing with time counters on it. You suspend something. All right, I'll worry about it later. Although, to be honest, that last part is pretty cool. You remove a time counter from
it's if you like chain. I don't like. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore the fact that can remove time counters from things that you literally use suspend with.
Yep,
I'm gonna ignore that because I feel like suspend cards suck fucking ass. So I'm just gonna imagine that the way this is gonna work in a game is you play this on 3 or 4. Next turn you'll tap it, put a thing, and you'll do that like a couple times, and then maybe eventually when you cast one of them, you can start taking one off the others. And what this is all sounding like to me is you're gonna use this every turn. You're gonna do it, and your cards are gonna come into play in like 5 turns because it. Like, maybe that's... man.
There's also the really limited amount of, like, cards that remove time counter specifically in blue.
Yeah, I'm just ignoring that.
It's just... Ew.
Do you guys ever get the vibe from some Magic players that, like, they really want to seem like they're doing something clever, so they just find, like, the most convoluted, complicated way to do, like, the simplest thing possible? Where I feel like with Alaundo, that's kind of like what this is, where you could just, like, ramp more mana and then cast the spell.
Yep.
And not jump through a bunch of time
No,
counter
Eli, I
hoops.
want to play an 8-drop, so let me put 8 time counters on the suspend card.
But when you bring that up, I think that's another great aspect about Simic. Is that's what it does.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, how can I do the most simplest thing in the most complicated way possible?
Now, it does tap to draw a card, so it's not like you're losing the advantage on it. Yeah, the first text. So it's not like you're like just like losing cards from your hand and like they're coming into play 10 turns later, right? Like you are actually like getting another one and then kind of putting one on timeout. So in that sense, it's not the worst, but I'm not a big fan of this card.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that timeout. That's kind of it'd be a nice little something for the deck. You just play cards that you shouldn't be, you don't like.
Oh, so
just like Aesi, timeout.
Oh, yeah, you're like
and then I'm gonna high market my commander.
Yeah.
So he doesn't come back out.
I do like that is kind of funny. You're just like you put like a package of like 10 cards that are just like bad cards. And you're just like, okay, I am never casting this Colossal Dreadmaw. I'm just gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in the timeout zone, and it'll come into play eventually. What do you think about this card, Eli?
How are you guys feeling about maybe a C tier?
That's kind of where I'm.
I don't hate it.
I don't know.
Too high?
That's too high.
You want to go D? I could go D. I could go D. I'm cool with that. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said something,
Although, you know
Thomas.
what?
Yeah, given the context of the rest of these.
Yeah, I do
probably
like
D.
C for Comatose though, because that's how I.
Yeah, C for Comatose.
But I think D is where it belongs.
D for the donuts he's been hitting.
D for dang good.
Well, there's
dang
knowledge
good try.
and there's power in his knowledge. So Eli, you want to do this next one here? You get to do this one.
Stuck with this one. Ambassador Blorpityblorpboop. I want everyone to know that was the decided upon by Wizards R&D, the funniest name that they could come up with for this. So
yeah, they had. I think they said they had it as another name, and then they thought, no, this would be a lot funnier.
Funny enough, so it's a 5-mana 3/3 Alien Advisor Guest. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 tickets. Then you may put a sticker on a non-land permanent you own. At the beginning of each combat, you may have its base power and toughness become equal to the total power and toughness of all stickers on permanents you control.
Is that ever going to be more than like 3?
Yeah, Thomas, you got to play with these with us, right?
Yeah, I did, and it was pretty good in a limited environment. I don't remember much from it because it was all just so funny.
So all the cards,
it was all just so funny. We were laughing at
you
card.
were just.
It just I was just doubled over the whole time.
I couldn't see
so
most
funny.
of the cards because the tears welling up in my eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Because the best part about it is,
this is fucking
tap
sick,
it,
dude.
You tap it, and they're like, dude, what's this guy playing? You put it down, you go, Ambassador Blorpityblorpboop.
I saw that happen one time in the LGS, and everyone clapped and started applauding.
Yep, everybody just got up
And you know that player's name? Albert Einstein.
It's true.
Oh,
but
legend.
But seriously though, I like you're not gonna play all the cards that put stickers on your cards because those cards are really bad, right?
Just in case anyone watching this has never played with the stickers, they lose the stick after like one game of Magic.
A limited game of Magic, like the 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of miserable in that to like physically play. But besides that, it's just not good. This card doesn't do anything, right?
Would you guys agree that stickers might be definitively the worst mechanic ever introduced to the game of Magic the Gathering?
I think
it might be a harsh statement.
I don't know if I'd say definitively the worst, but definitely.
What beats it though?
my money's on a Rampage. I fucking hate Rampage.
I'm sticking with the stickers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
I wouldn't.
I don't know. I really don't like Vigilance. I think that's pretty bad.
I think flying is the most toxic mechanic.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Can I just
doubling?
Can I just throw this an F, guys? Is that okay?
Yeah,
would
just
love
get it
to
out.
throw
You know,
that.
can you take it off the tier list?
Yeah, he's gone.
All right.
No, he's an F tier.
I don't like that I'm forced to acknowledge the existence of stickers in regular Commander in black bordered Magic.
Bro, can I just say, like, besides that fact, like, besides all of that, like, stickers being cringe and shit, this card's just not good. Like, it just isn't good. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, no, especially not in Commander.
Yeah.
I don't like to be a hater, but like the stickers just do not function. So that's where I am with that.
All right, well, next we have... This is a commander that I have played. I had a Arixmethes Slumbering Isle deck. It's 4 mana for a 12/12 Kraken, but when he enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slumber counters on it, and as long as he has slumber counters on it, it's not a creature, it's a land instead. And it taps for Simic, so it taps for 2 mana as a land. So I actually had a lot of fun with this commander. I think it's... I just kind of played like a pretty basic, Simic ramp deck kind of thing. With like, do you ever, back in the day, did you ever play like Simic or Simic Plus decks where you really went with the untapping your lands kind of thing, or like where you untap like an artifact that taps for 3 mana like a monolith or something?
Yeah.
This is kind of like what this card makes me think of. And it can do good things. It's pretty hard to remove when it's a land,
so it's
right?
got that whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from it. How quickly would you turn this into a creature?
Probably. Well, it depends like what you're going for, because from my perspective, you'd like play this on turn 3 or 4, and then on turn 6 you play like more ramp spells or like a 6-drop. So you're not playing a lot of spells. So probably in 2 or 3 turns, I would say you're making this a creature. And in that sense, you can attack people for 12. Like that is something you can do.
He is fat.
Yeah,
that's a really nice part about him.
Do you want to play this one, Thomas?
No, but I appreciate him. He's cool. I like the whole sleeping island kind of thing. He's just a big old serpent.
Thematically, it's cool.
Thematically, he's very cool. I kind of wish he maybe was 3 mana. Maybe like green, blue or something like that.
Yeah, I think it might be too good though, probably.
Probably, but I don't know.
Just have a 3 mana double rampant growth in your command zone.
He's just tapped.
It taps for 2 mana. It taps for 2 mana.
Yeah,
so
but he comes out tapped.
yeah, but
You're probably getting him on 3 anyway.
I like this because
it bothers me.
You get all the 2 mana and the 1 mana ramps. If you play this on turn 3, then turn 4, you got what, 7 mana?
Yeah.
Oh, true
a lot consistently. Like if you just play a bunch of like 2 mana ramp in your deck.
Now, the thing that I dislike about this commander the most is a card called Freed from the Real, which just makes it not fun, not interesting. Like it's suddenly a threat because you can just 1 card win with it and make infinite mana.
Oh, yum. Yeah, great.
Pretty lame.
Yeah.
Pretty lame. I know there was a Extra Turns episode where one of the people in that just won out of nowhere with that.
Jake Boss.
Kind of.
I would have expected better of you, Jake. Why would you need that? You can just attack people twice.
But I like Arixmethes. I'm thinking like a C or a B tier. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's C. It's a good solid.
I like
and
it.
It's a Kraken.
It's a Kraken.
I think I'd put it in C because like as a Simic commander, if somebody's playing Arixmethes, like you said, aside from Freed from the Real, I'm really like not bothered by it.
You're
like,
not, yeah.
It doesn't get my Simic hatred flowing in my blood.
I do like the idea that it only takes a little bit of effort to one-shot somebody with an Arixmethes.
Yeah, very cool.
An extra 9 power is a lot of effort, but you get two pump spells, like something like that maybe. So Thomas, why don't you get us this next one here?
All right, we've got Edric, Spymaster of Trest. He's 1 in a Simic, legendary creature, elf rogue. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card. And it's a 2/2. This card is lit.
Yeah,
I don't play CDH much, but I played a CDH Edric deck, and it was my favorite.
Hell yeah.
I love that deck. He is so cool.
So for people not in the know, This deck is a bunch of 1-mana flying creatures and extra turn spells, and that's
it.
Yep, and that's how, and it can win pretty early, like turn 4 or 5.
Yep, pretty quick. So with that though, if you're playing it in a casual game, I don't want you at my table.
Well, also the thing that makes it even worse is that in a casual game, you know, it's a symmetrical effect. So if somebody else hits one of your opponents, they also get to draw cards. So you might be powering up, you know, one of your opponents or something like that, and it just so Edric is certainly very strong. I think there's no discounts about that, no qualms with that statement. I don't think it's very cool, personally. I think it's pretty lame.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
But I understand why you'd like it, Thomas. Mm-hmm. But Eli, do you think Edric is just like an S tier?
You know, I'm thinking about it because I feel like I shouldn't like it, because even if you're playing like a more casual, like high power, like not CDH, you're still probably drawing like 1 to 2 cards like right away from like turn 3 as soon as you play Edric.
Yeah.
If you just play like 1 flying man, the second flying man, turn 3 play Edric, draw 2 cards, and then even if you get like board wipe the next like turn 4, you're still up a bunch of cards even though you're drawing like mostly bad cards. You just play them again, play Edric, like
yeah.
I don't know.
You'd think so. You'd hope the person. I guess if you were to play goofy, kind of bad cards with it, I probably wouldn't be that offended by it necessarily.
I would be.
But if you're playing extra turn spells or any of these like turnabouts and all that bullshit, it's.
My problem is, like, I don't think the deck is built anyway that's not that, right? Like, have you ever seen an Edric deck that wasn't doing that kind of a thing? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's weird.
Yeah,
but
I think that's very bad.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you want to go? A, S, what, B? What do you feel?
Well, I was just thinking if it compares to like some of the arguments we made in the Boros tier list, like against like Winota.
Sure.
Like this is another deck where you play like so many garbage cards and then a commander that makes those really bad cards like supercharged.
Yeah, sure.
But he's also really inexpensive. He's 3 mana, and you get in these colors at least you get like a bunch of free interaction, like counter spells and stuff, so you can protect that very well.
And also,
you can hit critical mass pretty quick.
Also, in that strategy, there's like 5 redundant effects that do this Edric thing, like that you also probably might just play in your deck, like Bind to Thassa and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Ghost Piracy and all that.
All those things. So even if they like do kill you, like in the Winota deck, it's just Winota, right, that does the Winota thing. Whereas in this, like, they kill your Edric, okay, you untap and play a Bind to Thassa or something.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Do you want to go like S tier, A tier?
It's so simple.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Do you have a preference for where it is in here?
I think he's better than Aesi.
Can we go with that, Eli?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, cool. Next we have...
Oh, yeah, we got a...
Esix, right? Eli, is
Esix, Fractal Bloom. This is the other Strixhaven commander. It's a 6-mana 4/4, Fractal, with flying. The first time you would create 1 or more tokens during each of your turns, you may instead choose a creature other than Esix and create that many tokens that are copies of that creature.
It's a little confusing to understand how this works, I feel, but so this was also in the precon, the same precon that was it Adrix was in, and I honestly I don't know if I'm right about this, but I feel like Esix is scarier than Adrix. What do you think about that?
You know, Spencer, I don't know if you recall if you were in this game. There was at one time we would play at the local game store, and there was this guy, really nice guy. He said he was a new Magic player, just getting into the game. He'd play on Arena and stuff. But he had this deck, and he was like, yeah, I got the precon, I upgraded a little bit, and he was playing this. And I think that he hustled us because he just played like one of the best games of Magic I'd ever seen. Like, he didn't make any mistakes. He knew the game in and out, and he just did like consistently powerful things every turn. I was like, "Are you sure you're a new player? You're trying to like pull one over on me, trying to make me look like a fool?"
You guys were playing for Anti that game too, weren't you?
Yeah. He was taking my Black Lotus.
Yeah.
And I was just very impressed by Esix.
Yeah, I mean, to Thomas, there's a lot of really good ETB effects in Commander, right?
Yep, absolutely.
A lot of ETB effects that will do things like untap your lands. I know you were talking about your favorite card, Blinking Peregrine Drake, over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Making a bunch of copies, playing like a writer replication on like not even a writer replication, playing any way to make tokens, right? Like if you play like a...
This goes nuts with Avenger of Zendikar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can even play that little land that makes a 1/1 or 0/1 plant, right? Colony Garden.
Yeah,
like turn into a...
like literally.
avatar of growth.
But I'm just saying, like, there are ways in these colors to have effects that will make, 4 or more tokens of a thing for reasonable mana cost. The one I'm thinking of is there's a 4-mana card. I mean, I don't even know if you'd play this, but a 4-mana sorcery that makes the number of saplings equal to the highest power among creatures you control, right?
Deathwalkers, yeah.
I mean, and if you just have, like, you play this out, and then maybe it lives, maybe it doesn't, you just go, like, Peregrine Drake, untap your lands, play that, you now have access to, like, 20 extra mana or something, right?
Yeah.
Or another...
Or even, like, imagine, like, acidic slimes or something. Even something simple like that. You're just like, boom, 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 you guys are down, a bunch of lands.
And Eli, you were mentioning about Avenger of Zendikar. That makes the tokens on its own, so that'll come in, make, 7 tokens, and those are the 7 tokens will all be Avenger of Zendikars, which will make, 50 more sapling tokens, or plants, or whatever they are.
Insane.
Yeah, so I think Esix I think it's better than Adrix, in my opinion. It is more mana, right? But, like, I just think it's better.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's
you guys feel like
way, way higher.
Is Esix like a kill on sight?
Certainly.
Kind of thing?
Yeah.
So being like a 6-mana like kill on sight Simic commander, it doesn't produce you like
it doesn't
value.
draw you cards or anything, but it relies more on what you have in the deck, which I think makes it a little less threatening than what it could be.
I mean, it's kind of fun at least.
Yeah,
it's
cool commander.
What do you think, Eli? Somewhere around here, or what do you want?
Yeah, I'm thinking it might be an A tier. I mean,
sure, we can throw it there for now. You cool with that, Thomas?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so next we have, is this me? Am I reading this now? Or no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is Eutropia, the Twice-Favored. It's a 3-mana 2/2 human wizard with Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. That creature gains flying until end of turn. Notably, this is also an uncommon, so that means most of the time it kind of sucks. Not always, though. Not always. But I don't have a very high opinion of this card. So would someone else with something to say about it say something?
Yeah, no, I initially when I was going through these, I did notice, I was like, man, this card, uncommon, 2/2 Constellation, man, that blows. That stinks, But really, I thought a little more about it, and it's, it might not be, it's no Edric or anything like that, but it could be really cool. You could just play your little wood elves and maybe throw a little aura on it or something.
Get a Rancor in there.
Yeah, get a little Rancor in there. Give it a +1/+1. Gains flying. Hey, if you had an Aesi, imagine a 7/7 flying Aesi. Ooh, that's a little spooky.
I feel like there might be better ways to give something
it is.
flying.
No, 100%. But I mean, just for what this commander, it's just cute. It's a nice little. It's nothing really too threatening, and if you manage to do something interesting with it, I think that's more power.
And I think the bar for the signpost uncommon legendary from the set is pretty low. This is not bad.
It's just a cute little thing.
I'm not calling it an F tier. I'm not saying that.
But it is narrow. It's very narrow with Constellation, because if you're not playing cheap auras, what are you going to do? You're going to play my Omniscience and give my guy +1/+1.
So to be fair, you probably can build a pretty good Simic Enchantress deck. Like, you just really need either green or like white, and you probably have some good. You have a couple Enchantresses, stuff like that, to draw a lot of cards, right? So, and it does trigger each time. So if you play multiple enchantments in a turn, you can make something big or make a bunch of creatures have flying.
Oh, and it's a counter too. I missed that.
Yeah.
So you could even synergize with.
I can see you using the 1-mana auras that make your lands tap for more mana. Play that turn 1, play her turn 2, slap 2 more auras on her on turn 3, hit somebody for 6 on turn 3 commander damage.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I suppose it does. It's like a
style.
Maybe it is an aggro enchantment deck, Ancestral Mask kind of thing. Try to one-shot people, right?
It's a great one.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the worst in the world, but I'm really leaning towards like a C or a D tier even.
Yeah, I think a D is probably appropriate.
You okay with that, Eli?
That's totally, because I was saying about Adrix and Nev, how tokens are a very fragile archetype. I feel like Voltron's an even more fragile archetype in Commander.
I feel like I want to put Alaundo above it just because Alaundo says draw a card on it. Even though
that sounds fine.
I just want to, with Alaundo, you do have to actually exile a card from your hand. You can't just draw a card and not do it. But still, you can just exile the worst card and then keep the good card in your hand to cast. All right, Thomas.
Oh, yeah, Thomas, you got this. I'm sure a lot of people have seen somebody looking like this around the local game store.
Oh, yeah, right? It probably smells terrible, too.
Yeah, man, they're a real experiment.
Right, but here we've got Experiment Kraj. He's 6 mana, 2 and 2 Simic. He's a legendary creature, Ooze Mutant. Whenever Experiment Kraj has all activated abilities of each other creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. And you can tap it to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It is a 4/6.
Yes. So a good friend of ours, Thomas, at one point, like 5 years ago, had an Experiment Kraj deck that he played. And it's, just like an Experiment Kraj like combo kind of deck. Mm-hmm. And I can say from experience that it both like can do some pretty ridiculous things, but it also feels like it's like the most slow motherfucking deck in the world.
Yeah, right? I'm sure back at the dawn of EDH, it was probably a little bit of a powerhouse, but now it's just outclassed in every respect.
It's a classic. It's really cool. It's the sort of thing that if you like Rube Goldberg machines, mm-hmm. you would like this kind of deck. It's not a lot of fun to watch somebody do that.
Yeah,
in my opinion, but it's fun to do it. So
yeah, like the idea is like to combo off. You have to like you put counters on things that like make like tap for more than a couple mana. Then you like put a counter on something that like lets it untap itself, so you can like do that and make infinite mana, things like that. You can also put counters on your opponent's creatures and still get their abilities as well if they have them.
That's pretty neat.
But then again, like how many like cards? Like I feel like we're moving more towards like ETB effects versus activate abilities. I don't know how many cards have like
I was
good.
trying to think about that.
Absolutely. And I figured like whatever you want Experiment Kraj to do with whatever you have on the table, there's already something you could probably just run whatever you have on the table without Kraj.
Experiment Kraj is a deck where if you don't have the one of the green or colorless effects that lets your creatures tap on the first turn, like whether that's haste from like Crossroads or the artifact that does that, you're really just like playing 30 creatures with tap abilities in your deck, and you're really disappointed and sad.
Right.
But
I don't know. I don't think
I'm
it's
tired
of looking
strong.
at his prune-looking ass. We should just I don't know. What is he?
I've got a soft spot for it. I'd go for at least a C tier.
I was thinking a C myself.
C?
I was thinking C.
I suppose. Because he could do a lot.
We defer to you, Thomas. Where do you want to put it?
He goes in the tier of random Simic commanders that have like a 1 or 2 card combo.
Is it better than Alaundo? Is the question. And his ilk.
Yeah,
I want to put him here.
I think so, just because he doesn't have that big text box.
Yeah.
And you can put Arixmethes in his deck, and that'd be kind of sweet.
Put a counter on him, and then although he has to become a creature first, so
hey, it's part of the game.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, the next one we've got, it's fitting that I got this one because this is a commander that Joey Schultz of the EDH Recast insists should have been the Boros one. It should have been a Boros ability on here.
Interesting.
Ezuri, Claw of Progress. It is a 4-mana 3/3 Phyrexian Elf Warrior. It says whenever a creature with power 2 or less enters the battlefield under your control, you get an experience counter. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is the number of experience counters you have.
So the first thing that I think of when I think of this card is the obvious, the infinite combo with Sage of Hours, which is like the thing that every deck does with it, right?
Very cool.
And that's not very fun, but it is strong, and it just requires you to have play the game and then eventually just play your 2-drop spell and go to combat. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously very strong. But besides that, this card just for not much effort just creates 20 power creatures.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
It's like a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets out of hand fast. And you were talking about the stickers being the definitively worst mechanic. I think experience counters might have been a mistake. I think that's what really pushes them over the edge.
Get used to it. They're coming back. We just got a new one.
Oh, did we? Oh,
yeah,
boy.
the Boros Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
And that card...
At least it's on Boros, right?
Yeah. That card that I was just talking about, the 4-mana make a bunch of saplings, is Fungal Sprouting. That's a good card in this deck because you have a couple experience counters, you go to combat, put them all on one thing, you get a creature up to 8 power, then you make 8 more 1/1s, get 8 more experience counters. It's a really snowball-y card, but also it just it's not like you can kill it and then it you lose the count. You keep the experience counter, so you can always just play it back, and it kind of has pseudo haste because you can put the counters on something you already have.
Yep. Somebody board wipes you. You play one creature, play Ezuri back.
You have a 10/10 or more.
Yep. It's like you never left.
So, and also there's always the the synergy with counters and like drawing cards, things that like you got that one creature that will draw a card whenever a counter's put on it. You put 10 counters on it, draw 10 cards, stuff like that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. He works well with the other Ezuri.
He does. I think he's pretty good. I don't know if I want to go. I'm thinking like A-ish or S-ish. I don't know.
I was thinking A tier.
Yeah. I think big A tier.
I think it's better than Esix.
Another thing that kind of bugs me about him is you always see the same cards played in them.
Yeah.
Just because the certain counter cards, there's only so many that are like worth playing. You just always see him in there, and he just works so well.
You know what cards are good with? You know what cards are good and have 2 or less power? Mana Dorks.
Oh yeah.
So you just play your Mana Dorks that you draw later, and they're just fine.
They just get better and better.
I like it a lot. It's very simple. It's combat focused, which is always like, you can make some really good combat decks, but that's always like a baseline, like fair thing for the most part. And aside from like, Edric, like we were talking about, that's a different type of problem happening there. But
I think he's a classic powerhouse. I think
he's one of the OGs.
He's one of the better of the experienced counter ones. All right, is it me next? This is a new card that I have not read before. No, I have read this, actually. This is Ezuri, Stalker of Spheres. Ezuri number 3 or 2. It's a 4-mana 3/3. When he enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 mana. If you do, proliferate twice. And then it also has the static ability of whenever you proliferate, draw a card. I'm kind of have a mixed feelings on this card because it has the, classic Simic win thing, draw a card, but it also, like, it doesn't do it itself unless you pay 3 mana. In that sense, like, you're really...
And the thing it's asking you to do is not always the most useful thing.
I'm of the opinion that there's obviously cards that are, like, good with proliferate, like, things that make mana for the number of counters on them, obviously going to be, like, valuable to proliferate, right? But, like, I don't really value just, like, getting a couple extra 1/1 counters or maybe one extra Planeswalker loyalty counter. I don't know how much I really care.
Yeah, there's a couple cards that give you really easy proliferates, like Flux Channelers, like non-creature spell proliferate. There's the landfall one.
Yeah. Not pay 7 mana for your commander, then if it dies, pay 10.
You much of a proliferator, Thomas?
I do really like proliferate as I think it's very can be very strong. And since he draws you a card every time, it's kind of bonkers, right?
You can play your Tezzeret's Gambit and draw 3 cards.
That's pretty spicy. It's pretty cool. Or you can play that. Was that Mana Ray guy that doubles? Oh no, he doesn't proliferate though.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, but there's like that 5-mana enchant whenever you cast spell.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah. Inexorable Tide.
Yeah, Inexorable Tide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of falls with the other Ezuri that you're kind of limited on the number of cards you can have.
You can set up if you can set up a nice 3 or 4 card combo. You can really go like storm off and stuff like you were saying. I think you can
get pretty wild.
So
and I do appreciate though that they added the proliferate twice as a kind of like a kicker. He doesn't just do that.
I guess it would.
Is nice.
It would combo with Inexorable Tide and the creature that you put a -1/-1 counter to untap it that taps for a mana. Because if you can put a +1/+1 counter on it, then you proliferate, cast a spell, draw a card, and it makes a mana. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't literally combo with it. Like,
it's good. It'd be good value is what it would be.
I don't know why I brought that up, but I don't know. I don't think it's the most strong in the world. I really do feel it. I honestly do feel like it's like C-ish. What do you guys think?
Really?
I do.
C. Wow.
I was thinking a higher C, maybe a lower B.
I could. Thomas? What, Thomas? You got? You can go with it. What you got?
Whenever I see Ezuri and proliferate twice, I'm always like, oh, we're not
proliferating twice. 7
draw a card.
Okay, yeah, draw a card.
Like draw a card, like A.
What, Thomas? You got to be like,
or B, I guess.
You try to draw a card. You got to be like, let me play this stupid spell that proliferates so I can get a free cantrip. It's like, okay, you could just play a good spell.
Get your Thrumming Bird, deal combat damage, somebody draw a card.
But there's like creatures that hit people and draw a card normally.
Exactly.
Like, you just do that instead.
But this way you get to turn to people and say synergy.
Yeah, instead of playing your adversary.
I like to build synergy into my decks. You see, I put the proliferate cards in the proliferate deck.
And you're like, bro, my oh god, what are the lands that get 2 counters on them? They can tap for any mana by removing a counter.
Oh, the Vivid lands.
You'd be like, I'm proliferating my Vivid lands.
I put this strictly worse Guild Gate in my deck because of the synergy. That's how it be sometimes, right? Like,
bro, I got this graft land here. Now it's got 3 counters. I can graft 3 times. Okay, but
yeah, you know what? put it. I think it's a high C.
You want to put
It's
it?
definitely
You
high.
want to? How do you want? You want to put it at the top of C for now?
It's
Eli?
a high C.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay. Here, Eli. I think this is on you, right?
I think it's Thomas's turn.
Thomas. Okay, go ahead, Thomas.
Oh, here we've got
Gor
Muldrak. Gor Muldrak and
Amphinologist.
Amphinologist. Wow, look at that. He's a one in a Simic, legendary creature, human scout. You and permanents you control have protection from salamanders. Ooh. At the beginning of your end step, each player who controls the fewest creatures creates a 4/3 blue salamander warrior creature token, and he's a 3/2.
Have you played against Jesse's salamander deck, Thomas?
It's pretty cute. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty annoying.
Got a soft spot for this guy.
Hate salamanders.
Oh, it's so.
The sad thing about this is that you give your opponents an army of salamanders, and then they kill this, and now they're suddenly susceptible to salamanders.
Yeah.
But it's a fun.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, no, it kind of balances itself out a little bit because you have to have the least amount of creatures, right?
Yeah.
So, but I guess if you're just
I like when Wizards, because this is from Commander Legends, the first one. I like it when they try to make a fun commander and they kind of succeed at it, rather than just make an Aesi and be like, oh, it says draw cards on it, so they'll love this. Right. This is interesting.
And I do like how normally, like, sometimes when they try to make a niche, like a niche tribal commander, it's really like on the nose and just like, oh, you just draw cards for this, having this type of thing or something. Like, or look at the top card of your library, cast it. That's lame. This, it's just it does it in a whole different way.
Yes, it's a different axis.
Exactly, and it's not. It doesn't care so much about salamanders in your deck because realistically, how many are there? There's probably
you don't need to play
like 5
any.
salamander
It doesn't
cards.
care about that.
This makes Amphimutineer, which is already a really good card, into a slightly better card because now the 4/3 can't attack you for 4, which it will after you exile somebody's creature.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And it does a cool thing, like it gives your boys 4/3 or gives your opponents 4/3s, and that seems like something that maybe Simic doesn't really do that often. I feel that's more of a red thing.
You could maybe find some way to turn all your creatures into salamanders and then give it to somebody else so that all their creatures are salamanders. Yeah. I don't think that's necessarily possible in these colors, but
you can play with what is it? Esix?
Esix, yeah.
Yeah, you just turn all your tokens into salamanders or something. Oh wait, that would actually hurt you pretty bad, but
I don't think.
Yeah, it's just you and permanents you control. Yeah,
I think with Esix you could give them other creatures instead of salamanders. It's like, hey, instead of a salamander, now you get a Jin-Gitaxias. There you go.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the road we're going down, Mr. Amphinologist. You just give him.
Do you think this is like a
new group hug hero?
I don't know if you're playing this if you're trying to do your hardest to win though.
No, but I kind of like that.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's a casual. He's a fun commander. He's one of those ones where I'm not going to get upset if I see someone playing it. I'll be like, I want to play with this guy. What's this thing going to do?
I think I like it more than the D tier commanders.
How you guys feeling about C tier?
I think I like it at C.
I think
it's just he's got style.
At the bottom of C or what?
Yeah.
Cool with that?
Always bottom.
Oh, maybe I kind of like him more than Experiment Kraj, honestly.
Kraj.
I fucking hate Kraj.
Yeah. Prude ass.
Oh boy, we got a great one. Gretchen Titchwillow cost a Simic for a halfling druid.
I'm gonna let you finish. All right, but I hate this card.
All right,
Thrasios had the best 4-mana activated ability of all time.
Absolutely.
You go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read it again.
Yeah, she costs an activated ability, 2 mana and then a Simic, so 4 mana. Draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So that's the slightly worse version of the Thrasios effect because he scries one first, right? So
yeah. But I'll be honest, Eli, this card is just randomly a 0/4 for 2 that just blocks everything for the first couple turns of the game. It's weird. This could be a 1/1.
Well, I suppose this is a little bit. I mean, it's different cost. The Thrasios ability, you either draw the card or put it into play. You can do.
Yeah, and Thrasios is colorless as well, so that the colored actually kind of makes it combo less with alter effects and other stuff like that.
Which is.
It matters. You can make infinite colorless mana a lot easier.
They did that, I think.
But I do think it's strong, right? I don't think it's, especially for, I mean, not that it really matters, but it's an uncommon, pretty strong uncommon commander. I love me a River Hoopu kind of Azure Mage effect, and this is that plus put a land into play. I mean, honestly, like late in the game, like later in the game, like after you've ramped a couple times, maybe it's turn 6, and you're just like holding up mana for things, and you're just like, okay, I guess I'll just like play rampant growths I'll play like rampant growths that cantrip on your end step. Like, okay, it's powerful. I think.
Sounds like we gotta place this pretty high.
What do you think?
Excuse me. I think this card is great if you need an outlet for your infinite mana.
But it costs colored mana, Thomas.
Yeah, you're making infinite. You're making
Very
infinite mana.
great,
You can make infinite colored mana.
Fair
yeah.
enough, Thomas.
But listen, I'd play this if I were, let's say I was at my LGS on Commander Night or something. I just got my ass handed to me by a Thrasios. But I don't have a job anymore. I don't have any money. I can't afford a Thrasios. And I just happen to be walking outside and I step on a card and I see this one. And I go, oh, Gretchen. Oh, that's like a really bad Thrasios. Yeah. I'm still not going to pick it up. I lied. I wouldn't play this card.
I think you'd play this card if you had like, if you were really into like short girls or something. I don't know, because she's a halfling. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I guess if I was a real big nerd.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's probably worse than Thrasios, right? But like, I still think it's strong, right? All right, Eli, what's your temperature on this card's placement?
Oh well, it does the things.
It does the things.
I don't know. The only thing strong about this card is my aversion for it.
I mean, that's fair, but
maybe a B tier.
A B?
I'm okay with that.
It doesn't even draw you a card.
It does draw you a card.
Oh, what the hell? Damn.
It's Thrasios,
Checkmate,
but like,
Thomas.
Yes, checkmate. No, it's a C. It's a high C.
I see.
It's a high C.
I like some high C. Fine, we'll let you have it, Thomas. You get this one. But for the
Thank you.
record, I think it's better.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
That's okay.
Fight.
Yeah.
Fight. This is Grolnok the Omnivore. It's a 4-mana 3/3 frog, and it says whenever a frog you control attacks, mill 3 cards. Whenever a permanent card is put into your graveyard from your library, exile it with a croak counter on it. You may play lands and cast spells from your among cards you own in exile with croak counters. Notably, that is an effect on this card, so this needs to be in play for you to cast lands and play those I said the thing. Play lands and cast those cards, so it's not like a constant thing. But so he doesn't need to mill it from its own effect. You could just like mill yourself with other ways.
Yeah, the frog text on there I think is a lie, trying to trick people. Be like, oh, look at this fun frog commander.
And it's like,
It was a nice little add-on,
This is actually like self-mill value.
Yeah, you
toolbox.
traumatize yourself and then you can play half your deck.
Yeah, that's a little bit cringe. I think I feel like I compare this to like Muldrotha, but I don't think that really the comparison really works because Muldrotha is like you play the thing and then it goes back to your graveyard, then you can do it again. Whereas this says you can really only do them once, unless you put them back on top of your deck somehow. But I don't think that's really an avenue you want to go. Maybe that isn't a thing you could do, but I don't know. Thomas, what do you think of Grolnok?
I think Grolnok is pretty sweet.
He's kind of cool.
Yeah, he does have that little frog accessibility you could do if you wanted to. But ultimately, the croak counter thing, that's just sweet. I don't have to worry about my graveyard getting exiled. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. They've got croak counters on them, baby.
And only it gives you the croak counters when they're milled, unfortunately.
True that. So like the enchantment that mills your graveyard. But if somebody were to try to, if after you got the croak counters on it, if they Boros Charmed or something, it doesn't matter, right? Because your stuff's already got the croak counters on it. Rakdos Charm, because they went to their graveyard already. So I think that.
No, they could respond to it if they want.
Yeah, I mean, they could, but if they hadn't.
You mean later on?
Yeah, later on in the game.
You're saying like you got your second hand graveyard, but your second hand of your graveyard's actually just all exiled instead, and so they can't interact with it really. I see.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's comforting that way because I know a lot of graveyard decks. They
build up your advantage over the game, and then you're like, hey, bitch, you can't fuck with this because it's already in exile.
Exactly. They got croak counters. You even know what that means? Can you spell croak? Huh?
Spelling bee, croak, go.
Yeah, croak. What?
Yes. I don't know, but like...
and you can play lands.
You can.
That's pretty sweet.
That's actually my favorite part about it is
it
gets your land drops, honestly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, how much we care about like a Courser of Krufix in the command zone, Like, there's got to do more than that. I'm kind of unsure what to think about this card. Like, it draw cards, I guess, kind of thing. But the problem is, like, really, like, you just kill it and it doesn't, like, you're just playing like you're just playing a mill deck, or what? Do you want to mill it? I guess? I don't know. What do you think, Eli?
It's just
It's a weird card, right? Bizarre.
It's just a 1-card engine. I think them even putting on like the whenever a frog, like you're gonna play other frogs.
Well, Eli, you can give yourself a frog token with rapid hybridization or something, and then you can attack with that frog token. Or it's a frog lizard, right? Frog lizard.
It is, yeah. You can play Spore Frog too. That's a good frog. What are the other like playable frogs?
I don't know. I'd have to look this up.
I have no idea.
You can't play the Gitrog monsters, so
Is there a frog counter spell?
I don't like wizards being like, we want to make like a cutesy like good tribal commander for a dog shit tribe, and then being like, the ability we're gonna give it is just like insane. Like it's just like the best like 1-card engine that doesn't require the tribe whatsoever.
Yeah, they definitely didn't lean hard enough into the tribe. It almost feels like they just tacked it on. Like they were just like they had the card done, and they're like, whoa, wait, guys, my nephew loves frogs. How can we incorporate my nephew's love for frogs into this card design?
Well, we got to place this somewhere. I don't know where to place it, so I'm going to let you guys decide.
How do you guys feel about like B?
B, interesting. I didn't think about
it's
B,
good,
but it is very just that.
It's a good ability.
It's just like
It offends me, though.
I feel like all that it does, which is not a bad thing, all it does is just say like I play my my Thought Scour, and that equals like draw 3 cards or whatever.
And that is kind of cute. I know in the thought.
I don't know.
That card? Not traumatized.
Yeah.
Might be a little cringe.
Yeah.
But I'm always down to see somebody traumatize themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad they did to themselves and someone else not to.
You could probably hit like a combo with half your deck in your hand, quote unquote. I mean, you can kill it, but I'm okay with the B tier. Do you want to go below or?
I think it's below.
Below, Eli, cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we should move on. Shouldn't talk about everything for 30 minutes. I think this is you, Thomas.
Yep, and I'm glad it is me because I got a lot to say about this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we've got Ivy. I was wrong. I was on the wrong.
No, it's Imoti. You're right.
Talk about this one.
No, you're right.
Oh, the thing is. Oh, you put it up there already.
Yeah,
All right,
sorry,
sick.
Thomas.
Oh, no problem. So
Imoti.
yeah, Imoti, Celebrant of Bounty, 3 in Simic, legendary creature, Naga Druid, has Cascade, and spells you cast with converted mana cost 6 or greater have Cascade. I don't really want to read what the Cascade box is
You don't have to.
because I think we can know.
We know what Cascade does,
is.
yeah.
It's so this card. I've got this card. This is
Thomas plays this deck.
I play this deck, and I've had it. I think it's probably one of the longest decks I've had. Out of my whole career. It's just
Never wanted to take it apart.
I haven't. No. In fact, the more I play it, the more I love it. It's gone through a lot of iterations because Imoti's kind of busted.
It does strong things, Thomas.
It does some strong things. You look at it and you go, look at that little ass. It's got 1.
One
It's
toughness.
a 3/1 for 5 mana uncommon. That's garbage. But when you play it, you do feel that. It hurts. It's bad. All they do is got to sneeze at your Imoti, and she's just done. She's down. But man, when you get her out there, it's just great. If you build the deck right, you can just cascade into cascade into cascade. You get these huge cascade trains that are just beautiful. They're just delicious, and everyone's looking at you and they're pissed because you're playing solitaire. But I think really they're pissed because they're not casting these awesome spells. Like if you put Apex Devastator in this thing, you cascade, 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 cascade. That's 5 cascades. And if you can clone Imoti, with the Sakashima, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's 6 cascades. That's stupid. But let's, I love Apex, but let's talk about the real star in the deck. I'm sorry, I just gotta. Avatar Growth. Avatar Growth doesn't get enough love. And I know it's not Simic, but I need to talk about Avatar Growth. Okay?
Yeah.
It's from the party box bullshit pack no one who cares
Put some
about,
lands
right?
into play.
Yeah. But it's 6, so it's 4 green, right? But it's got Undaunted, but they don't call it Undaunted because Mark Rosewater is, some words.
Yeah, some
But
words, some
he's-
choice
he's
words.
some choice words. But this thing, when it ETBs everybody, and I repeat, every single one of you beautiful people get 2 basics on tap.
10-player game, everybody.
Absolutely. it's amazing. But anyway, the best thing about it in Imoti, you can cast it for 3 mana.
And it's
All
like
right.
a 6-mana spell or
And it's a
something.
6 mana spell. So you're gonna play for 3 and cascade into a 5 into like a 5 and lower drop.
Another ramp spell or
into
whatever.
another ramp spell. Or you can cascade into that one that cascades into destroy a target,
Yeah, or
artifact
another
enchantment.
cascade spell
Into
or a
another
clone
cascade spell, or a clone. Like,
yeah.
what do you give me that look for? Did your brain turn off?
The one thing that I think is important to point out if people haven't realized this is that when you play like a 7-drop and you cascade in, from that, then you hit a 6-drop, that cascades again because
That's
it
where the
doesn't
fat chains start.
It doesn't need you to cast it from your hand to trigger. It's just so that when you say Apex Devastator, you go like, boom, Apex Devastator, cascade like 4 times or whatever, right? But then in those 4, you hit like an 8-drop, and then that chains into a 7-drop, and then
6-drop.
whatever, and then you still have your other 3 cascades from the Apex Devastator that are gonna, or 4, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you can play 20 spells
and even
maybe.
at that point, and it's an unfortunate side effect of the deck is, when you see somebody doing something like that, that itself is a win con. Because they don't want to sit and resolve 8 cascades. It's absurd. So you just win. So I guess if you're fine picking up wins like that, granted it's not all the time, but it's got Chrome's Memorial too.
Dude, what I like about it is that it's a commander that does broken things, but usually you pass the turn after you're done. Usually you combo off and it doesn't win the game that turn, so that's kind of nice.
Yep. So they still got some time, and then they just board wipe, and then you go, piss. But you know what? You've got a lot of lands.
Eli, I know you have a nice qualm with this card, and that's when you kill it.
Doesn't matter.
Because you just play it again and it cascades when the spell has cascade.
Yeah, I remember playing with Thomas. We play a decent amount of board wipes in our decks, right, Spencer?
Yeah, we do.
Doesn't matter. Board wipe him, just plays next turn. Plays another spell.
Because you get to 5 mana, you cast it, right? And what do you hit off your 5 mana cascade spell? Well, maybe like a Rampant Growth, right? Then I'd be like, okay, Thomas, I gotta kill that, otherwise you're gonna chain off. And then Thomas is like, okay, untap, got 7 mana, boom.
If Imoti gets 2 turns without getting board wiped, game over.
It's probably pretty
Too late.
bad. But another sweet tech too is you can run some 5 mana counter spells. Even the 6-1
Sublime Epiphany.
Yeah, you do the
Sublime
modal one
Epiphany.
so you get something even if you cascade
and then
into
there's
it.
the one that makes treasures. So let's say you do cast your Apex Devastator and you get your 5 cascades. One of them is a what was that? Anyway, you can
The one that makes treasures? Or?
Yeah, the one that makes treasures.
Yeah, 5 mana
Swindle?
spell swindle.
Spell swindle. You can spell swindle
Your own
your Apex.
Yeah.
And get 10 treasures.
Yep.
Or you can get the one Urza's it's the 6 mana one that when you counter something and you can put it in exile and then you can cast it for free.
Oh, sure. Yes, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I've got it written, but
So you can recast
you can recast
and get your
Oh, God.
You get 10 cascade triggers off of that.
Yeah.
And you're cascading off of that spell too because it was 6.
That seems strong.
It's bonkers.
Things that have Cascade's a weird mechanic because that card you just brought up that will exile counter a spell and then put it in exile and then they can cast it for free from exile. That's really crazy on effects that have cast big important cast triggers, right? Because
Yes.
multiple cascades, so you can really that's actually
even
cool.
your Eldrazi too, that would be
If you did that on
if you did.
an Ulamog or something, that would work. Yeah.
You run that, was it World Breaker, the 7 mana one
Yeah.
when you cast it?
Oh yeah,
Exile
working
something?
on that. Yep.
Yeah, but there's
World Breaker.
a lot of very powerful 7-drop Simic creatures like other commanders or what's the Hullbreaker horror or whatever
Yep,
stuff
World Breaker
like.
is like a staple.
There's a lot of big impactful things in
And
there.
another fun thing to use is the split cards.
Oh yeah, because they have big CMCs and stuff.
Or aftermath cards.
Yeah, aftermath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when you cast it from your graveyard, it'll still cascade.
Yep.
So that doesn't need to be from your hand. It's pretty. And my favorite, I think, is you can play clash cards.
Yeah, all the cards that have oh, that's funny actually.
Yeah, because your average CMC is 4 or something in the deck. So you play Recross the Paths.
Oh,
You reveal until you get a land, and then you can put it into play, and then you clash. And if you win the clash, it goes back to your hand.
I like how you mentioned the Undaunted kind of effects, like Coastal Breach or whatever that one is, and it's
Seeds of Renewal.
Yeah,
too.
you're
Yep.
a 7 or 8 mana spell for cheaper than that. It's cool.
Yeah, 4 mana, and you still get that because it reads it as 6. It's such a cool card, and I'm just oh man, look at this.
You got
Diluvian Primordial.
oh yeah, then you start
Jeez.
casting other people's big spells as well, and then you cascade off those as well.
Oh my god, Great Henge, another one of those cheaper ones.
Yeah,
with the bigger
yeah.
boys you get.
Could play.
Unexpected Results. That's one of my favorites.
Oh god, I hate
man.
that card, Thomas.
Yep, you just do it.
You just do it.
7 mana cast for free, and I put it back in my hand. Boo. It's just, it's a C tier.
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a C
it's
tier.
a C tier. Commander's not that good.
I think it's
Sure, Thomas.
I think it's an A.
That's what you'd
it's-
like us to believe.
Yeah, just leave me alone. Don't kill my Imoti.
Your deck is very terrifying, Thomas. I think Imoti has even though I hate it in principle, it earned my respect because I have an anecdote of my friend Finn also has an Imoti deck on Magic Online that he built as like pretty high power Imoti. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the urban legend in the Magic community of the Dream Crusher on Magic Online. There's this guy who's kind of like a cryptid like in the Magic community. Like he plays on MTGO in the Commander lobbies, challenging people like 1v1 Commander games, and he exclusively plays a Baral counterspell deck.
Oh, gross.
And he'll put in like the description like no partners, like no X things, like because if you're playing partners against the counterspell deck,
doesn't work.
You're up too many cards on him to counter everything.
No partners, no companions.
So he's effectively trying to lure in like new Commander players to like pub stomp on them pretty much. With
Counter every
with his
spell.
1v1 like Brawl Commander to crush their dreams as in his name.
Yes.
My friend Finn brought in his high power Imoti deck and played with this guy, and Dream Crusher got fucking pissed because cast Imoti, counter Imoti, cascade into another spell, cast Imoti, get a spell every day. You can't beat that.
Right?
Counter spells against Imoti, not as good.
Yeah. So after that, he blocked Finn on Magic Online.
Wow, couldn't pub stomp. Because you know why? Imoti, dude. I got one more card to bring up because I love this card.
Okay,
it's
go for
another
it.
one of those your opponent's probably going to scoop when you play it. Mind's Desire.
Yeah, that's a card that I'd scoop.
Yeah,
but
absolutely. You can be cascading into 3 drops and whatever, it doesn't matter, but you cast that Mind's Desire.
Apex Devastator, and you end the chain with a Mind's Desire.
Just your deck is on the field.
You gotta use some dice to keep track of how many cascades you
I
have.
have before. It's such a cool deck. Cascade is so cool.
It's confusing because you're like, I have like 4 10-mana cascades, 1 7-mana cascade, 2 6-mana cascades, and they're
yeah.
they all-
You just end up putting dice on each card that's cascade.
yeah. Okay, well, are you guys okay with something around an A tier? That's what I think.
I almost want to put it in S tier. I think it's so good. It's crazy good for an uncommon. That's insane.
What do you think, Thomas?
I think a very high A is probably
Okay, can I put it at the top of A here?
yeah. And it should probably just stay there.
Yeah,
And we'll see though.
And I'm not even like Eli. Like I'm not even discounting. Like I might even like if we decide to, I might even like. I'm still of the opinion that like AC might even be like below it. But
Yeah, and we can always definitely look at that.
do you guys care about that? Do you want to look at this? And so it's better than that, or do you not care? Or do you have an opinion on that?
I don't know. Play a land, draw a card is very,
Still pretty good. Yeah.
very clean.
Fair enough. I'm trying to get you, but it's fine. If you want to hold strong to that, that's fair.
All right. A lot to say about Imoti. That's a crazy card.
Mm-hmm.
Up next we have Ivy, Gleeful Spellthief. It's a Simic cost 2/1 Fairy Rogue, flying. Whenever a player casts a spell that targets only a single creature other than Ivy, Gleeful Spellthief, you may copy that spell. The copy targets Ivy.
I don't even like. I haven't put the thought into this card to figure out like what is actually powerful with it. I just think it seems bad.
It copies auras.
It does.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Ivy's pretty good. Would be really good in that uncommon constellation deck.
Sure.
pretty good.
The reason that I just immediately think that it's not as good is just because like your opponent just like you play Ivy and they're just like removal spell on your creature also kills Ivy.
Well, you get to choose.
Oh, it's
you
a
don't
choose?
you don't have to.
You may.
copy
Okay,
it, yeah.
I take that back then. My misunderstanding there.
But yeah, I'm generally, you know what?
That's pretty good. I didn't even think about that.
I like a good build around commander, but I hate when they make commanders that incentivize that allow people to play pump spells in commander. I hate it so
because they
much.
suck.
It makes me so mad because pump spells are such like a I got you, I owned you right now using my pump spell to kill your creature in combat, and then like, and that player feels like they're winning. It's like you son of a bitch, you're losing this game. Like your deck is all pump spells. God damn it.
Yeah, they feel like they're winning, but then they have to remember that like they have to go home to a deck with pump spells in it, right?
Yeah,
like,
right, exactly. Because
like-
they're gonna wake up tomorrow and still have that.
still have the pump spells in that deck. Yeah. Well, I guess you probably could do some strong things, like you were saying, copying. If you can copy like a powerful aura, and get multiple triggers off that or something like like a Bear Umber or something.
Yeah,
get
that's kinda cool,
Yeah, I
right?
get that.
Yeah.
And it is we do like us a 2-mana commander in the EDH Take Studio, but I mean I don't know, I don't hate it.
Playing what's that one card? It's like one in a green aura, and you make it like 2 saplings or something. Like
it's a common or
Fists of
something.
Ironwood.
Yeah,
Very
Fist,
uncommon.
that'd be kind of cute.
That's like a pioneer card or something.
Just like I'm gonna Fist of Ironwood my boys, and it can target tokens too, so that'd be kind of cute. I think you can do some pretty funny stuff with this guy.
We feel like this is kind of better than that other like Constellation Commander.
I do think
like
it is
kind of
better
a
than that.
Similar thing, but like way better than that.
Yeah, way better.
Way better.
So like
Like a lot better.
Yep.
You thinking like a C tier or a B tier or something? What are you thinking?
maybe it's like a B tier.
Yeah,
I could go around the frog.
Because I know that can do some pretty
Yeah.
powerful, cool
Was
things.
it banned in standard?
I don't know.
I don't know. I remember being kind of a house though, but that's
So I would rather play this than the frog, but I think it's worse than the frog maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
I would rather build it than I build the frog though personally. Okay. I'm going to read this cuz I got this one,
Spencer.
but okay, so this is a flip card. It is Jadzi Oracle of Arcavios. Nice, hard to pronounce card name. It is an 8-mana 5/5 human wizard with the abilities discard a card, return it to its owner's hand from the battlefield, that is. And it has Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it by paying 1 rather than paying its mana cost. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield. And then the other side of this card is Journey to the Oracle. It is a 4-mana sorcery that lets you put any number of land cards from your hand to the battlefield. Then, if you control 8 or more lands, you may discard a card. If you do, return Journey to the Oracle to its owner's hand. Did I get all that? So the idea is like, oh, you get to 4 mana, you play Journey to the Oracle, you put a bunch of lands into play, and then you get to put it back into your hand to cast the front side. Wow. Isn't that cool?
That's pretty sweet.
And the front side's like idea is like you play it and then I hope that you hit an instant or source at the top of your deck and then play your 2-mana instant that you hit because you're playing cantrips in this deck because it's a Magecraft deck and then play it for 1 instead. Or you hit a big thing or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Hit, like reshape the earth or something.
I mean, that
You
would be
kind of
good.
like this card, right, Thomas?
I do. I think it's I do like this card, but I would like it in 99. I don't think I'd ever want to play it as a commander just because it's so good.
You just want to put all the lands in your hand to play.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's just like it's so cute because you can discard, return it, and then play your thing again. Although play it for Journey.
Yeah,
you're always gonna have more than 8.
Like, let's say you have like an Aesi in play, right? Mm-hmm. You can play this Journey to the Oracle and put like 4 lands into play, and then it puts them into play untapped, notably not tapped. So then you could discard one of your cards, put this back into your hand, and then cast. And you drew 4 cards off of Aesi. Maybe you drew a couple lands. You can play it again and put more into play.
Yeah, that's
so
insane.
If you combine it with effects like Aesi, like it does get.
Yeah.
I think
any other kind of landfall too, like the making treasures and stuff.
Yeah, or making 4/4 beasts or something, right?
Yep.
Oh, and if you have, never mind. I'm gonna stop Magical Christmas Landing all over this card.
Right? Yeah, it's tough, but it's such a cool card.
I think the back half is much more interesting to me.
It is. It definitely is.
But
to play against it, because like you said, you're probably not only running cantrips, but really good, probably oppressive spells.
Yeah, probably some.
And you're gonna be playing.
Some big
You're gonna be
things.
playing some 1 mana for 1 mana, and I'm gonna see you do that, and I'm gonna get so mad.
Yeah.
You play that reshaped earth for mana. Pardon my French, but fuck you, right? Like I want to do that. Why can't I do that?
I do think that it's better in the 99, probably.
Yeah.
If you can pair this with a commander like Tatyova, like that's like the 2-card combo, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas on its own, like I don't even know what you'd put in this deck to have it. Like I don't want to pay 8 mana for this spell and then, cast a. Like, you have to have like a ton of you play 8 mana for the spell, right? Then you play like a cantrip for that's 9 mana. And then you have to hopefully flip into like a big spell and then pay 1 more mana to cast it. I guess if you can hit a land, it just like goes into play and that's good. But like, I feel like it takes a lot.
It has a lot of moving parts there for an 8-mana commander.
So I don't actually think it's that strong, but it is kind of cool. And just the back half is not bad. But I honestly feel like a D tier or something, or like a C maybe.
Ooh.
I really don't like it.
I don't know.
I really don't think it's good.
I
What do you
don't know,
guys
man.
think?
I think it's C. I think that's maybe too low, dude.
What are you, Eli?
I was almost thinking B, and you said D. Maybe we meet in the middle at
a C?
At a higher C. What do you
Higher
think,
C?
Thomas?
Definitely better than Gretchen.
I mean, I like it better. I mean, I think Gretchen's more better, but I do think it's better than Ezuri here for sure. So you want to go with like top of C or top of C or something maybe? Bottom of D, B if you want, I guess. Thomas? I'll come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think bottom of B is reasonable.
Okay, we'll let you have this one, Eli.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a cool card. Shout out to the professor.
Yeah, Thomas.
All right, we've got, what is this, Kaseto?
You got to say it like the professor
how
does.
does he say it?
Because I'm a snake, get it?
Oh, yeah, because that's their only defining property. Kaseto. Arachi Archmage. One a Simic.
Please stop.
Yeah, legendary creature, Snake Wizard.
That's a Z.
Okay, it's a snake.
If the professor was really committed, he should have like
Yep.
taken his arms off and just like wiggled on the ground, like.
Oh, 100%.
Should just lied on the table.
Yeah.
Late, yeah.
And it costs a Simic, or I'm sorry, the activated ability costs a Simic. Target creature can't be blocked this turn. If that creature is a snake, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn, and it's a 2/2.
I think Eli said he kind of likes this card. What's your
kinda
feeling?
like
Yeah,
this
what's
card.
going on? Give us the deeds.
You just
Gush?
just do it to itself. Voltron.
You just,
Maybe you play one other good snake if there is one.
That's actually really funny. I didn't even think about
you
that.
just be like 8 mana, attack you with a 10/10 unblockable.
There you go.
Based.
Well, I have a lot more respect for it now because I think my notes were pretty disparaging. What is this?
Thomas took notes.
Kaseto. Oh, it's gone.
Amateur. I'm just kidding,
Yeah,
Thomas.
it's just
Yeah.
3 mana commander. You play some equipments, put it on there, use its ability, give it unblockable, pump it up.
That being said, what do we think? What do we say about Voltron, Eli?
Yeah, not that good.
Yeah, no, I think Eutropia did it better.
Maybe.
I don't know about that, but I'm feeling the
I might
same.
disagree with that.
But I'm feeling
around there, yeah.
I'm feeling. I think Eutropia did it worse, personally, Thomas.
Wow.
Well, this deck doesn't make you play enchantments. You could just play regular. By the way, I don't think you should.
Okay, go on.
I don't think any of us think you should play snakes in this deck, right? Like you just play like regular cards and give stuff unblockable.
If you happen to have like one good, I mean, isn't there a snake that like
There's like that Arachi, right?
there's one guy that's like when you hit somebody with a snake, you get some mana back and do
What?
something else.
This is a
or-
card.
There's that. What? Yeah.
I think it's actually like
I think the only good snake was Steve and that Arachi.
There's a snake. There's a 3 mana snake that draws a card when it hits somebody.
that Frostfang or
Oh,
Frostfang.
or
That's a
Frostfang.
snake.
That's a snake.
Oh,
That's a snake.
that guy's
Okay,
good.
maybe you
That's a
can
good
play
snake.
a
Oh, and you
couple
get those,
snakes,
like,
okay?
that Flash Viper too from.
Hex
Yeah,
Drinker
modern-
is a
modern
snake.
Ice Fang Quaddle.
Notably, if you play Hex Drinker and you give it protection from everything, you can no longer use the ability on it because it has protection from everything.
Damn, that makes me sad, dude.
Oh, Ice Fang Quaddle, like you said, Eli, that's a personal favorite card of mine.
Yeah, you get a couple of good snakes.
Oh, and this guy.
Yeah,
We're talking about him later.
Lotus. Yeah, Lotus Cobra is a snake.
That's a great snake.
Okay, you Mystic Snake. You got a good.
Yeah, you
Maybe
got
there's a
7
maybe
snakes.
there's a good changeling in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we could champion changeling. So you could do all that kind of.
To be
weird
fair,
shit.
though, what's your payoff for playing the snakes? You are now able to give them +2/+2,
Yes, you are.
Yeah, and if you play your coastal,
Goddamn right.
your Bides of Thassa's.
as opposed to just giving this +2/+2.
Exactly.
Okay, but yeah,
Flexibility.
can we keep it here then? Is that cool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Eli. This is a newer one, I think.
Oh yes, I love this card. Kinesos, Priest of Thassa. It's a 1 and a blue, 1/3 Merfolk Cleric. If you would scry a number of cards, scry that many cards +1 instead.
Yo.
And it's got an activated ability for 3 and a hybrid Simic. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent creature card, you may put it onto the battlefield.
Yo.
If you don't put the card on the battlefield, you may put it on the bottom of your library.
This is kind of like that that blue-black commander that like transforms and like sea serpents and stuff, similar, or like for like a big spell, where like you get to like reveal the top card, and if it's like a 6-drop or something, you transform it.
Oh yeah, Runo Strumker.
It's
yeah.
kind of like that in the sense that like you want to hit like a big sea creature off the top.
And I love that, Thomas. I don't know about you. We were talking earlier a little bit.
Yeah.
Love me the sea creatures. I think I might actually, if I had to make a Simic deck, I'd pick this one.
Yeah, I won't deny that he's powerful. He's cool, and I'm glad that they're giving tribal stuff. But like earlier, when we were talking about who was it? It was another. I think it was the frog one.
Yeah.
This is actually a problem I have with designing for like tribals that are kind of low. Not very. don't have a lot of
weak
support.
creatures like if you try like dinosaur tribal or something like that. Yeah,
they tend to make it very like they start at the top.
Yeah.
Right. Because look at this. You're paying 4, and you just get to play.
Yeah, it's like you make
like
Rhino,
a 7-mana.
you make like Rhino tribal, and you're like, oh yeah, you just like add 5 mana to cast Rhinos or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it's just it's good, but to me, I would like a little more involvement with the tribe. You know, could I give you a good example right now? I can't off the top of my head, but it just seems easy.
I feel like so
like
yeah. Go ahead.
Something along the lines of more like something that more. This does incentivize you to run Leviathans and Krakens and stuff like that, but something a little more not as up front.
Yeah, not just
Right.
put them into play.
Yeah,
I
not
guess.
just like here you go.
Right, but isn't the worst thing about trying to play the big stuff creature deck, you got to play like your 8-drop, like your epic Kraken or Leviathan, and somebody just counters it.
Right.
So be able to like put it directly into play, and for cheap, too,
That's cool.
Like, that allows you to play these cards that.
Right.
So
Some of them you don't get to play.
the funny thing with this card is that usually I really I don't value Scry at all, right? I don't think Scry is that. People will say like, oh, Scry 3 is like draw a card. I don't think so, right? Like I don't value it that highly. But this is a card, and then the bottom effect, of 4 mana, look at the top card, if it's a thing, put into play. To me that just sounds like, oh my god, I'm gonna miss, and it's gonna be a waste of mana, and it's gonna be terrible. But when you combine the two like themes together, like they do play well together. Like I feel like you want to guarantee that you hit something before you use this ability if you can help it, and it lets you do it a little bit more. So that's nice about it. I kind of like that design in that
Scry
sense.
is good. But you know what? Ultimately, he reminds me of Thrasios.
Because he's a 2-drop with a 4-mana ability.
Yeah, it's like, come on, Wizards. How
Is
many
he
different kinds
at
of
a
Thrasios
1/3?
are you doing? Yeah.
Do all merfolk look the same to you, Thomas? Is that what this is
I
about?
don't think this podcast is about that. I don't think.
Do all 1/3 merfolk with 4 mana activated abilities look the same to you, Thomas?
They all look like Thrasios.
You know
The most
what?
popular one.
And this is a cleric for your party deck, Thomas. For your party deck.
Oh! You know what? I might have just been swayed.
I want to put him in like C tier or
But
B tier
I
or D
will
tier.
not.
I demand B tier.
B tier.
Really?
Yes.
How about he's better than Gretchen?
He's not better than Gretchen.
Then
It's
he ain't-
cooler than Gretchen, Spencer.
I'll
It is
agree that's
cooler than
cooler.
Gretchen.
I mean, but Gretchen doesn't put an 8/8.
It's better than Ezuri.
It is. It's better than all of those.
Yeah.
All right, Thomas. You and Eli come to a consensus here because
I'll put it at bottom of B tier, but it's going in B tier.
I don't. Well,
Fucking sick.
fine.
okay.
I'm not a host.
We'll
I have
do it.
no power here.
Fuck it. This one's a pet pick, I guess. This Kenesos or whatever, Kenesos.
It's the only like morally acceptable Simic commander.
That's true. It's a very inoffensive Simic commander.
Yeah, well, really, like, isn't that kind of saying something about the state of commander? That, like, say I use this card, and turn 5 I play like some kind of cantrip that scries or like a scry land, and then use that ability and put like an 8-drop into play.
Reactivate something. Yeah.
That is nowadays. I feel like that's not that offensive of a thing in Commander. If people are just putting
like,
an
you
You're
could
drop
gonna
into
you're gonna
play.
put your coma into play for free.
Like you could do this with
Now
like
that's a problem
like,
there. Now,
excuse me?
we don't play Coma in this. We don't allow Coma in this deck, Thomas.
like
but
that-
he's the best.
It's similar to like doing like the amulet that lets you just like put a creature into the play.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Lion's
Quicksilver
Eye, or
Amulet.
not
It's like-
Lion's
no,
Eye. Quicksilver,
yeah,
yep,
yeah, it's
Quicksilver.
like something like
They have
that.
The lion.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got Karuga. Is this my turn to read this?
Yes, sir.
Karuga, we're not talking about this in context of it being a companion because it's a commander tier list. 5 mana 4/5/4 companion, and we're not going to read that. When Karuga enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with CMC 3 or greater. To be honest, Eli, I think this card is better as a commander than a companion because the downside of the companion is really bad, which is like
pretty cool though.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
can make a pretty interesting deck.
well, it is a dinosaur hippo, and I know, smashing creature types, but this one does look pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Draws a bunch of cards, right? When it enters, it's not bad. I would play. It's like a Mole Drifter plus, right? In your command zone, it's not the worst. If
mean, it's not
draw
the
a couple
worst.
cards.
I don't know. There's another card I'm thinking of specifically that just outshines this thing so hard.
Well, yeah. Simic commanders be drawing cards, Thomas.
I know.
That's
That's what
true.
I'm saying. So I'm like, I look at this guy and I'm just not that impressed. I'm thinking if you want to play like handicap yourself, sure, play him as a commander. right? But I don't think.
As a commander, I just think it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
It is boring.
Because you're just going to be blinking them the whole time.
Or even if you're not,
and you're not even going to get the whole...
If you're not, you just, like, don't play them and you, like, make a big board and, like, just draw 7 or something. I don't know. I mean, it does trigger off of, like, not just creatures, right? So, like, you can play, like, Mana Rock. Like, you can play 3-mana Mana Rock, Eli, and not feel like you're killing yourself. So that's good.
I mean, cool.
But not really. So, yeah, I don't think it's that good. I'm thinking, like, a C tier-ish or something.
I mean, I think because he draws you cards, he's probably a C tier.
What do you think, Eli?
I think C is fine.
I don't care where. Do you guys have a preference?
He's
probably better than the Salamander, right?
He's better than Gretchen.
He's not better than Gretchen, dude.
What? He's better than Kraj.
I'd put him at the bottom of C tier.
Okay, I'm
think so?
based.
All right.
I just think it's boring.
He doesn't really do anything, right? Like, he just draws...
Yeah, but Kraj is a prune-ass looking... God, I don't like Kraj.
I'm coming around more to the style points, like, aspect of the tier list, I think, Thomas. Like, less so, like, what's the best thing, but what's, like, the most fun thing.
Okay, that's cool. Because he is unique. He's interesting. I'll give him that.
We're bringing that, dial it up from a 10% to a 30% of the thing, yeah. Okay, Thomas, give us the this gross text.
We got, what is this? Is this Kian?
Yeah.
Dean of Substance. I like that name, the Dean of Substance. That's what they used to call me in high school.
Because you were a drug dealer.
I mean, I'm not going to say it out loud, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't self-incriminate,
Yeah,
but...
I'm not, there's still pending charges I don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's 2 and a green. Legendary creature, Elf Druid. You can tap it, exile the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into your hand. Otherwise, put a study counter on it. And you can pay 4 and a green to create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put a +1/+1 counter on it for each different mana value among non-land cards you own in exile. With study counters on them.
That could just say for each card with a study counter. No, it has to say for each
Cards you own.
with different CMC.
It's got to involve the math, Spencer, because Quandrix math is magic.
Like
I'm
I
just
said
saying,
earlier, Simic can be a math.
It could say all of them with different numbers, and it would still be ass.
It's got to make you think.
Okay,
more.
read the other part.
But then on the flip side, we've got this. I'll get to that later. But we've got Imbraham, Dean of Theory, 2 and 2 blue, legendary creature, bird wizard.
Just like there's a lot of bird wizards.
Nope, haven't encountered a single one on the tier list yet.
Well, it's a 3/3 mana commander, but yeah.
Okay, he's got flying, and then we've got X and 2 blue and tap him. Exile the top X cards of your library and put a study counter on each of them. Then you may put a card you own in exile with a study counter on it into your hand. He's a 3/3. I like this side.
I fucking hate
This
it.
side is cool.
I fucking hate it.
You fucking hate it. That's because you ain't knowledge. You don't study enough.
I'm not smart enough, Thomas, for this card.
Thomas, you know what this card says? This card?
Yeah.
It says, like, activate...
I just read it. I know what I said.
It says, like, activate the Gretchen ability, but don't put the land into play.
Activate the Gretchen ability? Yeah.
So, like, pay 4, pay 3, tap it.
Yeah, but you have an expanded knowledge at this time. You get to pay X, dude.
Yeah.
You could do, like, 7. You just... It's almost kind of like the croak counter. You just throw 7 into the croak zone, into the study zone, into study hall. You guys need to get smarter. Go there. I'll summon you when I need you.
I think both sides of this are poopy.
If I had to say, like, as much as I like that second one, I just like the art too. Like, he's just like this, like, all wise owl and shit, and he's all like, "Yo, I got these fractal beings, and I got a book that I don't need to hold it. It just floats, because that's the peak knowledge."
That is true.
I'm tired of talking about this guy. I don't like it.
Eli?
If anyone watching or listening to this wants to imagine what Thomas looks like, he looks like Imbraham. That's how I see you, Thomas.
So I just want to say, like...
He's even got the little, like, with his, like, mustache that, like,
he
he's got, like, your beard, like, with the 2, like,
branches.
prongs coming off.
Yeah, the little branches.
He's got your feathers, too.
Oh, he does. I'm so glad you guys noticed that. I just had him prune the other day.
So I just want to say, like, Alaundo, who's, like, tap, draw a card, kind of, is down here. And this card's, like, pay mana, tap, draw a card. So I want to put it in, like, low D or F, honestly. I think it's that bad.
Are we going into F tier again?
I think it's an F. I think it's an F, Eli.
F. No.
What about, Thomas, what about D for Dean?
Exactly. D for Dean.
Fine.
We've got not 1 but 2 Deans on one card.
This card just...
That's unprecedented.
It just offends... Well, I think they all are. All the Deans are 2 Deans on a card. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Unprecedented.
Yeah,
Simic.
they're both double-faced.
With Simic, we're talking Simic. We're not talking about the other ones.
We'll move on.
Yeah, we got something else that's offensive here, Spencer.
Oh, God.
We got Kinnan, Bonder Prodigy. He costs a Simic for a 2/2 human druid. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. Then he has a 7 mana activated ability. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You know how jaded I was about Simic when this card was previewed? That the first time I read it, I misread it and thought it just doubled your lands too. And I was like, yeah, I don't,
that
sure.
makes sense.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
out, yeah.
Yep.
They finally did it.
Yeah, you wouldn't even blink an eye. You're just like, yeah, well, there's Simic. It's going to happen now, sooner or later.
And then I reread it and was like, okay, that's still really bad.
Yeah.
It's still kind of crazy. You ever play much Kinnan, Thomas?
I don't.
No one plays it because it's fucking
it's
absurd.
It's lazy. It reminds me of Golos a little something. Because
Yeah.
he's got the means to get you a bunch of mana, and then he's got to pay off.
It's one of those
For 2
classic
mana?
one-card engines.
Yeah, and you know what? And you were talking about those like experiments that use the
Not Kraj, of course.
no, not Kraj, but those guys that use the power up spells, and they just think they're the best.
They play. Oh yeah, they
That's
play
this kid.
pump spells.
That's
yeah.
their face right there. They go, look at me. I get to tap my land
Yeah,
well
again,
for
it's
2
the
mana.
thing. Like, see, I put in mana dorks in this deck because it's synergy. I'm really like I figured it out. Like, I put in my Moxen because this 0 mana taps for twice the amount of mana. It's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Do you know what Kinnan reminds me of? He reminds me of one of the spoiled kids from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that just like went in and got eliminated immediately from
No, that's
I get
perfect.
the
That
vibe.
is this kid. He's like, we're gonna turn him into chocolate.
You know what pisses me off about Kinnan is you think like the activated ability, the 7 mana part.
Yeah.
Yep.
The worst thing happening to somebody, like sure somebody could whiff, but like somebody pays 7 mana and they're playing a bunch of mana dorks in their deck, right? So like they 7 mana go into a mana dork. Mm-hmm. It's not even that bad because they just make 7 mana like it's that nothing, right?
Yeah.
So
It's like what turn?
it's like
probably turn 3.
You think like, haha, you got owned because you flipped off a 1-drop for 7 mana. It's not even that bad.
Eli, in a deck that plays mana dorks, what's usually the payoff for playing a bunch of mana dorks? Like an 8 mana spell?
That's. I wonder what you like play as like your big creatures in the Kinnan deck.
Dude, it could be, and you just put it. You don't cast it, right? Yeah, you put it
into
You
play.
could do, the one guy we were talking about, the 7 mana. You play stuff and cast and counter stuff. Or return stuff.
Hullbreaker
just
Horror,
really oppressive,
or
gross.
yeah,
Although,
or
one thing-
some of the other commanders in this tier list that we're gonna get to later that are
Yep.
like 7 mana. There's a nice one that makes a nice serpent.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
But what I do like about this card though is how its activated ability really kind of encompasses like how I think a lot of people feel about it. Like you may put a non-human, right?
You're not human if you
No.
play this card.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was gonna say they do non-human because no reasonable human wants to be this kid's friend.
I get that. They
There
wouldn't
are
hang around with him.
There are no people around with this guy because they're just like, no, you're gross.
He's got to be friends with an alpaca or
'cause-
something.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
he's one of those kids that's just like he's always trying to one up. Every story he's got's made up. And
Pillar
it's better
field
than
ops.
yours.
And if you
chilling
look
with
at
him.
his art
Yeah.
too, he's got like a weird like grabber device. So it seems like the animals don't want to be his friend either. He's like, get over here, I'm gonna bond with you.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second,
right?
Eli.
Yeah,
You see
he's
that
the
grabber?
force.
You see that grabber device in his art?
Yeah.
Does that look like a nickel bolus horns to you? Holy shit! Is nickel bolus?
Whoa.
Magic
No
players.
wonder
when they
no
see
one
this.
likes him.
Do you know my favorite thing about this card actually is that when you play against this card, at least the game ends quickly because they combo in by turn 4, right? There are some infinite mana combos of this card. It's pretty dumb.
Yeah. Well,
Like, wait, doesn't this just go infinite with like a monolith, like basalt or basalt monolith,
Yep.
right? Just one
That's-
card,
yep,
like make infinite
absolutely.
colorless mana.
if I wanted the game to end quickly or something, I probably just wouldn't have came out and probably would have sat in my car with the the garage door closed.
So I just want to, if I can have a moment to draw an allusion to another tier list we did. When we did our last tier list, the Golgari tier list, there was a card that this reminds me of, not in what it does, but in like what it does to a game, and that's Belby. Belby is a commander that's also 2 mana and makes absurd amount of mana in the first couple turns of the game. I don't know why Wizards just thinks that this is something that players want. It's really just cringe.
Yeah, I was talking to Thomas before we started recording this about how I used to play at a game store where there was this guy, a really nice guy, but he would always make these like borderline CDH decks because that was kind of something that happened to the meta there, where there was one guy bringing literal CDH decks, so everyone like hyper powered up to match that. Mm-hmm. And he had a Kinnan deck that he would bring out because they would do kind of like sort of like a tournament. There was a loose prize structure to it where people would get entered into a drawing for winning games more often. Mm-hmm. And he had a Kinnan deck, and it just made obscene amounts. He would just have like 6 mana on turn 3 like easily, and I thank God that he didn't play as much card draw as he probably should have.
Yeah,
because it would either be like I win the game or I make a bunch of mana, play one good thing, get interacted with, and then just do nothing.
you better have a Pyroclasm.
Yeah.
How did he not just like spend all that into his ability then?
I
was
think
he
he
just not
would, and
playing
just
anything
like
good,
not
or-
get any, like you just get mana dorks like off of it, and then you get like
Oh,
another like
yeah.
turn to like deal with it, and you play a board wipe or something, and
Sure.
then the Kinnan player is just kind of sad because now they have to recast Kinnan and they don't have the mana
no.
dorks and stuff.
I gotta
so.
spend 4
Yeah,
mana.
I thought all I had to do was play the one card.
Yeah, so they do that, and then they like turn 5 or something. They like you have to do the thing of like play your commander and pass the turn that everyone else has to do, but like you have to actually wait till your next turn to untap. What the hell?
Yeah, I think but
Crazy.
with adequate card draw and like free counter spells and that kind of deck, that just would be so terrifying to me. So
Even like a bad version of the deck's still broken.
I
think.
want to put it
top
S tier.
of S
Yeah,
tier for
it's
me.
one of
So
those
far,
cards
yeah.
that if someone says, "Oh, it's just I made it bad," though, it's like, no, you didn't. You're not running 99 lands.
I feel like Kinnan I'm not gonna do this, but I feel like Kinnan has a say of being like double S tier, like just is better than these by a decent margin. I think at least for these two.
Where else would you get like a 2-mana commander that effectively like doubles a resource for you? Like,
Yeah, imagine if they made like the Elish Norn card 2 mana.
it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, who's got this one? Thomas?
Oh, I think,
Eli?
I think it's your turn, Spencer.
Oh, it's me.
And you get to talk about our favorite.
So I just said, this is a good one to hit off of Keenan, right?
Yeah.
This is Coma Cosmos Serpent. It is 7 mana for a 6/6 serpent creature, and it has this spell cannot be countered. So you were saying, Eli, you love when you play your sea serpents and they get countered. They can't. That's
I
terrible.
thought about that
But
this
they're
time,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, we need to do that for this card. And it says at the beginning of each upkeep, so all 4 of them, create a 3/3 blue serpent creature token named Coma's Coil, and then it has the activated ability the Coma does. Sacrifice another serpent, choose one, tap target permanent, its activated abilities can't be activated this turn, or Coma gains indestructible until end of this turn.
I believe the professor famously said that this card flies under the radar or something along those lines. Like
That's my
like
favorite.
it's a nice sneaky card. It's very subtle, like how good it is.
That's my favorite, like Professor Deep Lore is that video he made when he talked about this. But this card is absurdly powerful. Like it doesn't literally just combo win the game, but it's there's not a lot of there's a type of card that I like to call there's like a Grave Titan kind of effect, which this is certainly I think it's better by a decent margin, but like the army in a can sort of card where this card will, if uninterrupted, will win the game on its own, meaning like it will make enough creatures to be able to kill and attack everybody without putting any mana into it or anything. And if you want to interact with it, it also has the ability to give itself indestructible or stop other people from attacking you or activating the abilities of their things. So it's like, it's just...
It's a big, miserable time.
Yeah.
Big control.
I think what was there was a game nights where they had the Cobra Kai guy on and he played a Coma deck.
Yep, he just played Coma, cloned it 2 or 3 times.
And there was nothing anybody could do at that point.
Yep. You keep up your free counter spells for interaction, and I mean, nobody can counter Coma. They can't destroy it with removal that says destroy. You pretty much have to immediately have some kind of exile removal and have it right away.
Yep.
So if there was like, Coma is a card where I just think of like, what's like the best 7-drop I can cheat into play in any deck? And I just like, this is like in the contention for that, and it's also a commander. So like,
That's the crushing thing about it. As a commander, like, sure, you pull off the thing, you work together with people to kill it,
yeah.
and then they just play it again.
And you might even like let's say like they have their serpents, right? And you're like, aha, I got around this. I have my exile effect to exile it. And then they go and they play it for 9 and they have like 4 serpents in play to give it indestructible again, right? Like it's not like they go away. So I think, I don't know, I've been talking a lot about this. Thomas, do you have something you want to say about Coma more than what I've said?
No, I think you guys summed up pretty good. And I even didn't think that sacrifice another serpent. It doesn't need to be his coil.
Yeah, I mean, but
Yeah.
but it's coil, right?
Yeah,
like,
right. But I mean,
but
still,
yes.
that's...
Technically, you can place other serpents if you want.
Yeah, you could turn things into serpents, too.
True.
So it's...
Thomas, you kind of remind me of a serpent in some ways.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make you eat the apple.
Thank you.
I'm going to convince you.
Eli, you got anything else to say about this?
It's just
kind of offensive.
it's crazy, like how this is a Simic commander that doesn't say like put lands into play. It doesn't draw cards.
Yeah.
But it's somehow kind of worse than all of them because like the thing about this is like you get enough of those coils and its ability tap target permanent. You have like a bunch of them. You could just tap down somebody's lands like on their upkeep so they can't play like their farewell or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how is that fun? Like I tap your lands down on your upkeep so you can't do anything.
That happens more often when you start cloning it and you get multiples at
that's
upkeep.
Gross.
But
Or even a token doubler too.
true. I do want to say no disrespect to the person that I'm talking about. I'm sure you don't know who you are, but I played a game against I played like a 3-player game against a player with like a pretty new player, right? And he had like a pretty I don't want to say a bad deck, but pretty low power, right? Coma deck, but the Coma was the commander, and like the cards in the deck were kind of bad, right? I would say, and like just the fact that he had Coma and played it, like I just like you just have to kill them immediately, otherwise it's just broken. So
Yep.
I don't know. I'm thinking S tier, right? And I think
I
it's
would insist upon S.
and I think it's probably here in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay,
good.
good. I'm glad we're in an agreement there.
S for Serpent.
S for Serpent.
All right.
Thomas, you.
We've got Claressa, Scale Singer. Is Simic. Is a legendary creature,
God.
Dragon Bard, uncommon. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast dragon spells from the top of your library. It's a 1/4. Now I'm just going to get this out. I do not like this card. It is lazy. It is lame. Did a Simic, did we need another dragon Simic commander in this capacity? Like, what does it do? Why would I play this over any other dragon Simic? Which there probably isn't many. But still, like, what does this card add to the? I mean, you could put it in your 99. It'd be cool there.
You know what I think
as a
is funny
commander?
about this card, Thomas? Is you play, it's a 2-drop commander, right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, you play it on 2.
Mm-hmm.
You untap. What
Yeah.
what dragon are you casting for the next couple turns for 3 or 4 mana?
For 3 or 4 mana.
There's not many good ones, if at all. So
Oh, for 4 mana.
And we're
you-
narrowing
Yeah, I know
down
they
to Simic
exist.
too.
Yeah.
Like how many?
I know there's a couple 4 mana ones that are actually
like
decent,
Whirling
but
Drake and stuff. That card's pretty sweet. I like.
But,
Whirling
like,
Drake.
I don't really think the ability to cast 20 of your 100 cards in your deck off the top of your library, especially when they're not great cards. I mean, dragons are fine, but you know what I mean. It's actually a lot worse to be able to cast spells on the top of your deck if the only spells you can cast are 6 mana, because it means you can do 1 a turn maybe.
Yeah, this card was designed for Baldur's Gate Commander Legends Draft, and I don't see anyone playing it outside of that as a commander.
Do you know my favorite part about dragons?
Scales.
Is dragon these nuts. Okay.
Nice.
Sorry. I think this is D for dragon.
It's F for.
Do you think
fucking
it's
Pilper.
worse than that,
I
Eli?
think it might be an F tier.
Damn, you're gonna give this guy a D, but
Well, a
not.
dean is a respectable position. Being a dragon, that's a no-no.
I'm okay with F tier. It does.
I just think this maybe draws you 1 card the entire game.
I think it literally does nothing. I think that's true.
And I don't think there are that many good Simic dragons. There's a few, but not enough.
There's the Drifting Doom. Okay, I think it's better than stickers though, because it's a 2 mana creature.
It is. It is better than the sticker one.
Okay, is it my turn to talk? Because this is a commander I played. Can I talk about this?
If you want to go ahead.
I would like to take your spot, if that's okay.
No problem.
This is Krufix, God of Horizons. It's a 5 mana 4/7 with Indestructible, and it's got the original 2-color Theros God thing, where it's not a creature unless your devotion to green and blue is 7 or greater. It has the ability you have no maximum hand size, and it also has the Omnath, the mono green Omnath ability of if mana would empty your mana pool. It doesn't, but in this card's case, it becomes colorless instead of keeping its green color, or whatever other color it might be. So I played this deck back in the day, probably back, 2016-ish, so many years ago, 7 years ago, back when Prophet of Krufix wasn't a banned card in Commander, and I'd say, Prophet of Krufix goes pretty well with Krufix, because you just bank up a ton of mana.
Right.
So that being said, I don't know how strong I think it actually is, because it was such a different time back then. The things that I would do in that deck was really just bank up mana with Prophet of Krufix, which doesn't exist anymore, and then Blue Sun Zenith my opponent for 60. but it was kind of funny. But I don't know. I think Krufix is okay as like a. I don't even know. I guess just like a. I don't know. Would you play it as like a tap out control or not? Like a pat draw go commander? Is that how you'd play it? Like a draw grow ramp deck?
Maybe just play the mana sink deck.
Yeah. Okay. Like Hedron Pinnacle or Helix Pinnacle. Yeah. But I don't necessarily think Krufix is that good. I don't think the max hand size matters that much. I don't think. I guess it's nice when it's an indestructible body if it becomes a creature. It's nice.
I also don't think it's that good.
What about?
But I don't think it's any kind of bad.
No, Thomas, you got any thoughts?
I think it's definitely kind of middle of the road.
I'm thinking
maybe
like
even a little better.
C-ish.
Maybe top of C.
Yeah, better than Gretchen.
I like that running joke we got here.
Yeah.
All right, you want to do this one then? Because I took your guy.
I like Kumena. Kumena, Tyrant of Razka. It's a 3-mana 2/4 Merfolk Shaman. It says tap another untapped Merfolk you control. Kumena can't be blocked this turn. Tap 3 untapped Merfolk you control. Draw a card. Tap 5 untapped Merfolk you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on each Merfolk you control. I think that's pretty cool.
I do think I like the modality of it. It has 3 different things you can do. The one that allures me the most of draw a card, that.
Yeah. No, I think it's not. This is a nice tribal commander.
If you're gonna play Merfolk, right? Like this is one of the ones.
Yeah, this is also a Simic commander that doesn't offend me, like the Sea Serpent guy.
It's just cool that your Merfolk are resources to him. I think that's pretty interesting. Like you're not probably going to be attacking with them very often, but
yeah, and
you're going to be using them to.
Wasn't the theme of Merfolk and Lorwyn like tapping and untapping them? So there's like Merfolk that care about that.
Yeah.
And other cards that like untap your Merfolk when like you go to like gives you like an extra untap for them. I think there's an enchantment that does that. I'm trying to think back to the game nights where I think Jimmy played this and what the interesting things that you could do with this
that was an old one.
I think I feel like the kind of way that this deck wins might be like going wide with Merfolk, and then you're drawing cards. Maybe eventually you start putting you put 1 or 2 counters on all of them, and then you play like that Merfolk that the stream Merfolk where your creatures counters can't be blocked.
Yeah,
stuff like that. And you go wide and try to do that.
Isn't there something too that lets you untap things with counters on them? Is that
probably?
Or did I just make that up?
I mean, there's probably a sorcery that does that, like untap creature counters on them or something.
Lets you untap creatures.
There's just plenty of things that let you untap your stuff. Like you just play like a Seedborn Muse and then
stuff like
Yeah, no, I think you probably just like make a big board and then maybe eventually do like a Crater Hoof sort of thing. Go wide and kill people, and I think that seems good.
And I like that he does a lot of cool things, but it's not a one card. Like he doesn't create Merfolk tokens on him.
Right. Yeah.
So you have to actually play Merfolk in your deck to make this thing work.
He's not like
there you go. He's fair and
he's not like Lathril, right?
I feel the same way I did about the other guy. I feel like this is like a low B tier because it's just
strong. I think
it's a respectable commander.
I want to
like him.
I want
a Christian Simic commander, Thomas.
Exactly. This is something the Pope might not back him, but your congregation will.
I want to put him here.
I think Merfolk are just really good creatures. So playing Merfolk in your deck is just going to make it a good deck, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing about tribes like humans and wizards. Merfolk have good cards, and they have good creatures that you're not embarrassed just putting in a deck. Are you okay with here? Is that fine? You want to go different?
He's a little better.
Okay, I can go down.
But he's definitely better than the Serpent guy, I think.
So we can go here then?
Looks good to me.
Put the travels together.
All right, Thomas.
There.
For everybody listening, this is a partner card. So in the context of this tier list, it'll be either this partner on its own or with other cards that would make it a Simic deck. So you could play this with a mono green partner or whatever. So go ahead, Thomas.
So we've got Kydel, chosen a Krufix. It's 2 mana and a Simic. Legendary creature, human wizard. You can tap, add colorless mana to your mana pool for each card you've drawn this turn. Partner 2/3.
This card is annoying.
It is
to play against because you just have to think to yourself do I want to just kill his card that he could win? He could just make 40 mana theoretically. I mean, not literally that much, but you know what I mean. This is the deck that you play all the untapping and drawing in.
Absolutely, the instill energy and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think Kydel's good.
I think Kydel's good.
Kydel's good.
I don't know if you guys remember the ancient second episode of Game Nights where Josh played a Kydel and Bruce Tarl deck where it was just a wheels deck where you just chain together a bunch of Wheel of Fortunes and then tap Kydel for 30 mana or something and like Comet Storm people or something like that. It's
Yeah.
she seems pretty good.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Seems fun.
You don't even need those extra colors to wheel in the blue.
You've got a solid number of wheels in blue. It's better with red, of course, but
Yeah.
but I think Kydel is strong. I'm not a big fan of it, like from how much I like it. I wouldn't play Kydel personally, but I don't know. Were you guys thinking like a B-ish, A-ish?
I think she's pretty B.
What do you think, Eli?
Like a high B maybe.
I want to go like at the top of B.
She relies a lot on your deck, right?
Yeah, I
She
mean,
by herself, he draws you one card or gives you one mana, right?
well, the thing that I guess that I like about her is that there are cards like we talked about before. I mean, we mentioned Winota, right? Like where it's a card where it's kind of like a must kill, but your deck kind of sucks if she's on the field. I feel like with Kydel, you can just play good like normal commander cards in that deck and be fine.
Yeah.
But I guess your untapping and like and stuff like that aren't great. But let's just move on from there, okay?
Yeah, we'll move on to Lonus, Cryptozoologist. It's a Simic cost commander, a 1/2 snake elf scout. It says whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, investigate, and then tap it, sacrifice X clues. Target opponent reveals the top X cards of their library. You may put a non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from them onto the battlefield under your control. That player puts the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. So
a lot of text
like
on
the
that.
ability there, but I feel like it can almost like not even have that and still be pretty good. What do you think, Spencer?
So it is interesting though because I think we've got a bunch of new commanders like what was it some of the Warhammer commanders and then the the partners with from the TV show, you know what I'm talking about, the Secret Lair they did with the TV show, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things?
There's like a bunch of Stranger Things cards that investigated, right? Because that was kind of like the theme there. And I feel like all of those cards investigated at a worse rate than this. This is like the best rate to investigate, right? So if you're looking to investigate, this might be the best way to do it, right?
I see this as just like a deck that lets you play all the mana dorks and little creatures without having the problem of you play all your little creatures and then run out of cards because you played your hand out of little creatures.
I like you're saying just like cracking the clues, right? Or are you saying like activate ability?
You just play mana dorks, get a ton of mana, and then you have the card draw
Yeah.
just tacked on there.
If you once you reach critical mass of mana, you can start drawing cards. I don't like the activate ability on this. I don't think I barely ever would want to use it.
Yeah, that doesn't seem... I would just probably keep the clues rather than do a random thing unless I had any reason to think somebody would have something cool on top of their deck. What do you think, Thomas, about Lonus?
I like Lonus. I think Lonus could be pretty good. There's a lot of investigate support in blue.
I like that
And-
it... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt you,
No, that
Thomas.
second ability is kind of sick because you could hit something better than what you'd get off of some clues
I guess...
for less mana too.
I guess the nice thing about the second ability is if your opponents play like a Shatterstorm or something to destroy all artifacts, you can just and you don't have mana.
In response,
Just cash them in, right? Try to get something. So that's nice.
I think the disruptions too is nice. If somebody's manipulating the top cards of their deck,
Sure.
you go.
Oh, you can just go
Yeah.
you can just go sack one and let me just put that card tutor
Yeah.
on the bottom. That's cool.
Something like that, or if they want to try to Vampire Tutor.
So I actually like that. I usually don't like that argument, but I like that because it doesn't cost any mana to stop that in this case. Usually people are like, oh, I play a spell from my hand and I spend mana to stop your Vampire Tutor, and it's like, bro, it's not that serious.
Yeah,
But
that's just an
free,
additional
right?
thing you can
It's
do.
free.
Yeah, you don't even need to do that.
Yeah.
Once
Another
an
one
option.
card engine here.
One thing that I like about Lonus in the design sense is that when I think it's a healthy way to draw cards because usually when they put like card draw on Simic cards and stuff, it's like when you do a thing, draw a card, right? This one's like got that extra step of you actually have to pay 2 mana to get that
Yeah,
card.
it says like a stopgap for the amount
Makes
of mana
it
you have.
a lot less abusable, and I like that about it. So I think it's cool and good. I don't think it's like that good, right? But like I'm thinking like
I think it's
either
pretty good
like a
'cause
B-ish, right?
It just gives you things for playing non-token creatures. Like you
Yeah.
can play a
Yeah,
bunch
so
of
all
good
your
cards.
dorks.
It does.
Extra card draw on top of that for 2 mana.
It is good. I'm thinking about it in the sense of like like the opportunity cost of like having a commander that does something more active, right? Like it's card draw, like you're never going to be mad at that, right? I think it's like a decent B tier. Is that okay, or do you think it's better than that?
It's probably like a higher B tier.
Yeah, like around this guy, right? Around the Frogish, maybe.
Yeah, maybe less than Slogurk.
Sure. You want to go like here or here?
How's that look to you, Thomas?
Do you have an opinion on that, Thomas?
I feel like I've never really played him, so I don't really know the true capacity of what he's capable of, but I think that was fine.
We love us a 2-mana commander, especially that draws cards somehow. Except for Gretchen, apparently. But that's okay. We'll let that slide.
Yeah, I don't even know if she's on the list.
Oh, you get the classic Spencer.
Okay, so this is Momir Vig, Simic Visionary. 5 mana for a 2/2. Elf Wizard. Whenever you play a green creature spell, you may search your library for a creature card and reveal it. If you do, shuffle your library and put it on top. Whenever you play a blue spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, put that card into your hand. So notably, if you play a green and a blue spell, like a hybrid spell, or 2-color spell, you get to search your library for a green card and then reveal it and put it in your hand. A green creature spell and then put it in your hand. So it's like a tutor kind of effect. I don't know how Momir, I don't know why you'd play Momir Virg if you weren't just like trying to like combo off, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Like,
Yeah,
he's big combo.
Like you technically could just play like a Momir Vig like toolbox fair deck, but like why? I don't know. What do you think about Momir Vig, Eli?
I think it's real old school. It's from a different generation.
Yeah.
I don't like that it's a 5-mana commander that doesn't do anything immediately, and also the thing that it does is just like tutor. Like you have to play a spell. Like you untap, right? You're at 6 mana. You play something that's both colors, or you play 2 spells to get your tutor into your hand, and then you probably don't even have enough mana to cast it yet, right?
Now, Thomas, you could make a Momir Vig deck and just use him to always get your avatar growth.
Yeah, you
Every
could.
single game.
You could.
Yeah.
And I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't build him like that.
Yeah.
I ran him in Imoti for a little bit, and it's just he doesn't do anything when he comes out. You have to spend additional mana. He's not just 5. He's probably 8 mana.
I don't think he's amazing.
Yeah.
But
And if you just want a tutor, you're in Simic, baby.
you could do that.
You've got amazing tutors in Simic.
Yeah. I mean,
You
could
don't need this loser to help you out.
play
with
a
that.
Tooth and Nail instead, right?
You play a Nature's what's that format?
Natural Order.
Natural Order. I love that card.
Yeah.
You want to find your
into play, right?
You want to find your coma. Well, you're not going to do it with this loser. You're just going to Natural Order him on the battlefield.
So our friend Reed Eli, a long time ago, like in 2014, had a Momir Vig deck, and it was a Simic Visionary, right? That's the one where you win if you have 4 copies of it, or is that a different card? That card, or no? It's like a
Simic Visionary.
Simic Visionary. Maybe I'm getting the name wrong, but there's a
Right.
he played Momir Vig as that, so you could tutor it up, then tutor 4 clones or 3.
Yeah, I guess with that, if you wanted to do like a Secret Command or Simic deck or something,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
he'd probably be the best choice for that.
Man, having to spend like 10 mana to get your secret commander though over the course of a couple turns
it'd
sounds
probably...
kind of rough. But I guess you could just like play a regular green spell or a regular blue spell and just hope to hit something or just put something on top, right? I don't think it's that great personally.
No, I don't think so either.
But it can't be the worst because it does something.
Yeah, and depending on what you want, it does it pretty well, I guess.
Do you guys have
feel
a
about like D tier?
Yeah.
Fuck it,
Maybe top.
I respect it more than Alaundo or whatever.
Yeah.
Alundus.
Yeah.
You wanna
All right,
Thomas?
All right. Oh, what is this?
Morit. It's
Morit? It's Morit?
Morite, probably.
Morite? Moridi? I like to think he's a Moridi.
Mariti.
Moridi of the Frost. We've got 2 green, blue, blue. Legendary snow creature shapeshifter, uncommon. He's a changeling. Ooh. You might have Moridi of the Frost enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent you control, except it's legendary and snow, in addition to its other types. And if it's a creature, it enters with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it and has changeling. Wow.
I kind of like it.
0/0.
I kind of like it, Thomas.
I like him more if his name really is Moridi.
That's cool, yeah.
Because, having a clone in your command zone?
Pretty cool.
You can
That's
play
kinda
a
sick.
Umezawa's Jite and put the Jitty on the Ritty.
But the GD
Sorry, that's a little cringe. I take that back. No one.
No, dude, that's
No, that's
EDH
cringe.
takes. This is where you come to put the jitty on the rig.
No, but I really do. I like the idea of having a clone in your command zone. I don't know if there's any other. Oh no, there's the Mimeoplasm. That's kind of a clone, right? Ish, not really,
Yeah,
but
but
it does.
actually
It's
probably
like
better.
with
but-
graveyards and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
But whatever. There might be something else I'm forgetting, but like I think it's kind of cool. I don't think it's absurdly broken because it does have that condition that some clones have where it's only your shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't like, Thomas, you'd be playing Commander and you'd be like, my opponent just played a Dockside Exorcist. You're like, let me clone that,
Yeah.
right? But now you're like, dang it.
No, I have to play.
I have to
somehow.
play it.
Oh, but you know what you do? You just
Clone
play
it with
another
your regular clone, and then you
take
clone
your
that.
regular, then you clone it, and it's now +1/+1, and it's a changeling.
+2/+2.
Yep. So
I actually think that it being making something a changeling actually could matter a little bit.
no,
Kind of
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah, you could go in a weird little tribal niche.
Yeah,
So-
it's like there's not. I don't think there's a lot of ways to like. I mean, there's that one equipment that's like change a creature's. A creature has like all creature types.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a lot of good ways to change the creature type of a creature. So if you can't do that, just play this, and then you have another one of them, and it's a
Yeah,
that's whatever that
And
creature.
If you're running a coma, which you are, in
you
the
are,
Simic deck,
it's a
right?
serpent.
He's a serpent, so you can sack him and then play him again.
Yeah, except for
I
the
don't
fact that
know.
it's legendary, but that's fine. Like you can't have 2 comas with this, right? Because it's legendary.
No, I'm sorry. You're copying the
The coil.
The coil, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Or actually, yeah. You can copy another serpent. Anyway, yeah, he's cool. He's neat.
You can also copy your artifacts or enchantments as well. It's a non.
Oh, yeah,
or not
probably.
even non-land. You
Yes,
can
you
get
can
all.
do a land too. So that's even. That's
Yeah,
pretty
you
sweet.
can be like-
Did you feel the dead?
Oh, that's not legendary, right?
Is it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that's even better. Feel the dead. My Simic deck. Yeah, no, I think he's just cool. And look, he's like, it's all snowing and shit, and there's a deer in the back. I mean,
He is
deer's
like.
cool.
I don't think he's absurdly powerful though, but
No.
I think he's. I kind of like it. Eli.
Yeah, it's just it's pretty cool. How do you guys feel about like C tier?
I think I like it more than some of these other C tier guys personally.
Yeah.
I want to like here.
Yeah, I think so too. He's so much more versatile.
Maybe up here, but I mean, he's cool. All right, let's keep this pumping. Get this. There's a lot of them.
Stuff is a card that I don't think I've ever seen before.
I think it's new.
It's from Dominaria United. Nail Evizoa Aeronaut. It's a 4-mana 2/4 Elf Scout with flying. Has domain.
Oh, Eli, could I interrupt you really quickly?
Yeah.
Remember when you posited the sticker mechanic as the worst mechanic ever, like the least favorite?
Domain is
Domain is up there for that in that.
But the sticker is just something that should have never been an idea in
Just want to
somebody's head.
say that I don't like domain one bit. Okay, you can read the
Yeah.
card now.
So when it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. Put up to one of them on top of your library and the rest of them on the bottom in a random order. Then if there are 5 basic land types among lands you control, draw a card. Literally impossible.
No, there's
You need to
that.
copy people's lands.
You can play the that like dryad guy. He gives,
okay, yeah.
and there's
Never
the
mind. I
prismatic
spoke too soon,
whatever. There's
Yeah.
2 cards.
Isn't there a Vedalken that switches lands?
Yeah, but that's much worse.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
So if you go through a bunch of hoops, you can maybe get an effect that says when it hits somebody, you can draw 1 card.
You should create that barrier in your mind, though, to decide that it's impossible so you don't try and do it.
That's true.
Dude, I just see domain on this card, and I'm like, this card's trash.
It's like I know I could survive if I jumped out most windows, but I should have that like level of survival instinct to know that I shouldn't try it.
Bro, imagine this is literally when it hits somebody, scry 2.
Do you guys think this is just a really easy F tier? I don't want to
Easy, yeah, we
talk
don't need
about
to
it
talk
too
about
much.
it.
This might be the worst F tier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It
might,
might need
this,
to make its own category.
this might the sticker card at least gets
You know it's
something.
bad if you're in contention with Blorpityblorpboop like for worst commander. Really.
Oh, we got this is Prime Speaker Vanifar. It's a 4-mana 2/4 elf ooze wizard. Freaking ooze. It has the ability tap, sacrifice another creature, search library for a creature card with convert mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's convert mana cost, but on the battlefield, shuffle your library, active ability only time you cast a sorcery. It's a birthing pod on a creature, is what it does.
I remember there being a lot of hype around this card when it was previewed.
You know why I think that is? It's because people love to make they love to be like, oh my god, I can like go in, birthing pod lines this into this into this into this and to win. But I don't think I saw it that much. I think like you were about to allude to.
I've hardly seen it.
Yeah, no, I think it was hyped up a lot more. It's probably played in like CDH some, isn't it? Or something?
I don't know if it is
higher power decks maybe.
Well, it's like a kill on sight commander because like if someone's playing this, they're probably just gonna win, right?
Seems like it could be really fun though if you were committed to not doing that.
I think it would be
like really strong too.
Yeah, no, I know complaints about that.
Yeah.
You know, ETB effects, right? Stuff like that.
Yep.
You ever play this one, Thomas?
No, I was never that big into birthing pod effects, so
Yeah.
I just kind of looked over it. But I can acknowledge that it's strong because birthing pod is strong.
You go from your 2-drop mana dork into your 3-drop that untaps Vanifar into your 4-drop that untaps Vanifar into your 5-drop, which is a Kiki Jiki, which copies the Vanifar, which goes into a 6-drop, which untaps Vanifar, and a 7-drop that win the game.
Yeah, and ultimately you end up at your Paragon Drake and bada
Yep,
bada boom.
exactly. But I don't know if I have a lot to say about this. I just want to place it kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it
It's
like an
probably
A-tier
like an
commander?
I think
A-tier.
it seems like an
Yeah.
A tier if you're willing to do like cool things with it and not just try and do the stupid combos that play a bunch of garbage creatures that come in and untap something. Like
Yeah, where
then you deserve to lose every game you play, I think.
based.
Yeah.
Yeah, where do you
I
want
think
it?
he's probably a little worse than Ezuri, maybe.
You cool with that, Eli?
Yeah.
That's fine. Is it my turn again to speak? Because I just read that. You can read this one, Thomas. But I also
good, because I've actually played this one.
so have I, Thomas.
You did too?
Yes, sir.
Probably before me.
Yeah, like in 2016.
Yeah, oh shit. So we've got Prime Speaker Zagana, 2. It's 6 mana, 2 green, 2 blue. Merfolk Wizard. Prime Speaker Zagana enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. When Prime Speaker Zagana enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to its power. It is a 1/1.
So it's a 6-mana spell that says when it enters, draw cards equal to your greatest power +1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes in as a big creature too. So I like
It's
that card
insane.
a lot.
When we were talking about Karuga, this is the card I thought of. That instantly
Yeah.
Better
outshines
Karuga
it
by a
a
lot.
huge margin. This card's awesome.
It's
Bonkers.
an oldie, but man, I think it kind of holds up.
It still
I do as well.
It does, yeah.
And I think like the kind of deck that could play this could not be oppressive. I think you could just play this as like a big creature deck, right? Like just normal stuff and then just refill. So
Is that how you played it?
yeah,
Because I played it combo.
no, I just played it like
Straight, degenerate. You know, put them down, draw 10 cards, get your not Paragon Drake, the other guy, the other loser.
yeah, the one that
7-mana one.
the one that wins because it
Yeah,
has the
that
ability
one.
to untap your burn your hand.
Yep. So
Yeah.
you put all the little graft. There's a
The
graft
whale or whatever.
guy. And the whale too, yeah. But like the little guys were the graft guys, and there was like the werewolf in like a suit.
Werewolf
Not
in a-
like in a mech suit.
Oh,
Like
not a
two-
tuxedo.
Yeah, I know.
Not a
It's like
werewolf in a
Little Pine
tuxedo.
prototype, I think.
Yeah, yep, like those cards.
Fuck Eli.
You just play this
Good job.
loser, draw 10 cards, and you've got all the answers in your hand. So it's just like, I'm going to blink them, I'm going to blink them, I'm going to get my combo, and I'm going to win. You know, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I think it's nice that it has multiple axes you can play this card on. It can be broken or just fun.
Yeah, or just cool. And now with Apex Devastator,
true.
this card's even cooler.
You know, they might come for us, guys, but I'm feeling maybe an A tier.
I feel like it's an A tier.
You
even
know,
though
it's an absolute
That's what I
A-tier,
was
I think.
thinking.
Yeah.
And I have cast this card with no creatures in play to draw 1. I have. But I want to give it like I want to put it like up here.
Sure.
Yeah,
I think it's really good
it's
personally.
super good.
I love her.
Okay, Eli.
Oh boy.
This one's
Thrash
good. This
me.
one's good too, I think.
Eternity's Crafter. It's a 4-mana 2/3 elf druid. It says whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card with converted mana cost less than that spell's mana cost, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't cast the revealed card, put it into your hand.
This is the card that I think of when I think of Wizards just being like, well, it's not a commander where, like, on do thing, you just get to draw a card and, like, cheat the mana of it. And I don't like that at all.
This is quite strong.
Yeah.
I
Like,
just think this is a little maybe too strong almost, this card.
I
Like,
do.
'cause it's just like
I do.
a card that like rewards you for just playing like the counter spell deck too. Like I don't love that. Like
Yeah.
just, I counter spell on your turn, I draw a card back or cast a free spell. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, the first thing I thought of was like, this is just kind of like a worse or a better Cascade almost.
So, yeah, well, the way that Yeah, like either you're doing like the like untap on everyone's turn kind of thing, and then like flash. In that case, it's really ridiculous. But like the way that I've seen this deck played is like you play Rashmi, right, and you pass your turn, and then your opponent does something or like tries to kill Rashmi or something. You're like, okay, Force of Will, draw like draw a mana dork, put it into play, or draw like it's a card draw spell or something and cast it because it's like 5 mana. Or there's like 4 or 5 like free counter spells that are just ridiculous with this because they hit everything in your deck, and if they don't cast them, you just draw it instead. So I think it's and you just play like all like the cheap interaction that you can, right? Like every like 1 mana kill spell in the deck, right? It's just so you can get that extra draw every time on everyone's turn. It's like Feather, but like your cards do things,
Yeah. No, I think that's reasonable. I've never really played the card though. I always cut it first. I always see people play; they seem to do well with it. But I don't care much for it.
I don't like it, but I think it's good. Do you think it's an S tier contender, Eli, or do you think it's closer to an A rank?
I just feel like it's like maybe top of A or like up there with Imoti, like because it's a different type of thing that it's doing, but it's still very
I'm cool with that.
Broken.
Yeah, I don't have much experience with it, so I'll just take that because it's a card I've never bothered to. Really
Imoti doesn't really want to play like all the free counter spells and stuff, and regular counter spells. This because you don't want to cascade into them. This card you're just like, let's go.
Yeah, right. We'll play everything.
Yeah.
I've always hated it costs 4, and then you have to play a spell after
that. We got Rolesk Apex Hybrid. This is a card that I've always thought was kind of interesting, but I never built it because it's a little weird. It's a 5 mana 4/5 with flying and trample. When it enters the battlefield, put 2+1 counters on another creature you control, and when it dies, proliferate, then proliferate again. So I like... The thing that I like about this card a little bit is just that it's got that what Verdurous Gearhulk, which is like a 5 mana 4/4 that comes in.
It adds a lot of power to the board right away.
I just like that it's like 6 power for 5 mana, and theoretically it dies and you can like add more, but it really is just like not really what you want to be doing.
It's so weird. What I don't like is like. So the counters that you probably have to proliferate are +1/+1 counters that you're putting on a different creature.
If you could put it on itself, I'd like
What's the most common thing, though, that will make this die, aside from you just sacrificing?
A board wipe.
Right, at which point the proliferate...
You got to have it on something else, right? You got to have the counter on something else.
You can have your brick counter on your pyramid. Or
yeah.
Thing is.
It's synergy.
Yeah,
playing a bad card because it has counters on.
What's that one that's really big in Modern that... where you put the counters on it and then you can play stuff for free.
As Foretold. As Foretold is amazing
that wasn't what I was thinking of, but
that's
Rashmi. Ether Vial, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Ether Vial. But yeah, that As Foretold's even better.
Remember Rashmi? Remember As Foretold and Rashmi? Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
This is a weirdo. What do you think, Thomas? Is there anything to do with this?
I don't know. Proliferate's always cool. And if he dies, you just do it again, I guess. He's solid.
So
he's a solid, he's cool.
So I just want to say that he's just the right mana cost where you don't want to just play him and sacrifice him, because I feel like the double proliferate could be a fun thing to play around if he was cheaper mana. Like you just use him for that and only that.
Yeah, I guess there's something to be said about maybe you play some really good planeswalkers and being able to proliferate twice in one turn to get their ultimate really fast is probably something you could do.
Mm-hmm. You play him to block for your planeswalker, maybe.
He's make more of like a spell or sports.
Yeah, you play him and you have a lot of Simic planeswalkers that make creatures. You make the creature token they made a little bigger to block with. You have a 4/5 flying blocker that when it dies it proliferates your planeswalkers twice.
I just wish you could. I wish you were in the colors to play a board wipe that would kill everything, because if you had a planeswalker or two in play and you play this untap, play a board wipe, that sounds like a good deal. But so I don't. Yeah,
I think him with those kind of artifacts, there's Book of the Dead.
What about
That'd be kind of sick.
What about
hold up?
Holding.
There is I actually have a Saheeli proliferate deck, and I'm trying to think of what it plays in there. But there's it's like a win con. It's the staff of something. You can pay for
Twinning
tap it.
staff?
Nope. You pay for, tap it, put a
jar of eyeballs.
No, put a charge counter on it, and then you can remove 3 charge counters to take next turn.
Oh, Magistrate Scepter?
Yeah, Magistrate Scepter.
Yeah, that sounds like it would do it.
Hell yeah,
there we go.
So I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm thinking C or D for this card.
I was thinking D, but I think I come around on it a little bit.
I think it's better than Karuka.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to go even higher?
Yeah,
maybe it's better than Salamanders, honestly.
It might. I think it might be, actually. I think it seems kind of weird and unintuitive at first, but then I was thinking, like, there's a couple of
Weird avenues.
different from what you might expect from, like, a Simic deck, like things like using Planeswalkers or, like, going, like, for an aggressive strategy. I kind of could do something interesting with that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Because he's neat. He's interesting.
All right, let's move on. Not talk about him for 20 years. Who did the last one? Did I read that? It doesn't matter. Who wants to do Slogurk?
I'll do Slogurk.
Okay.
So here we've got Slogurk the Overslime. 3 mana, 1 in Simic. Legendary Ooze, Trample. Whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on Slogurk the Overslime. Remove 3 +1/+1 counters from Slogurk. Return it to its owner's hand. When Slogurk leaves the battlefield, return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand.
That's weird.
That's kind of sick.
It does seem kind of sick, right?
That's kind of cool.
I don't know how good it is, but it seems kind of cool.
It does. It's like, I'm sacking my fetch lands and I'm going to get them back, or
So the problem I have with
you
this
escape
card,
shift and then you get your
it gets big, right? It gets big. My problem with this card, Eli, now it does seem cool. It's got some weird play to it, I feel. And I do like the ability that when he leaves, like he dies or something, you just get to like draw 3 lands from your graveyard. That's kind of cool. But my problem with this card is, do you remember when we did the last tier list, the Golgari tier list, and we had in the D tier these like 3 cards which are just like their benefit was just be a big creature. I kind of get that vibe from this, but it does have some other things going on. So it's probably
dear God, you could make this huge.
Yeah.
That's like we were talking about on the Golgari tier list, how the Gitrog trigger is one of maybe the easiest things to trigger on like any card, like for a benefit.
Landfall,
and this has the same
well, not landfall, but in the graveyard, yeah.
To just give it a +1/+1 counter, which obviously like isn't as good as that, but then you could just discard a bunch of lands to some discard outlet.
Yeah, or
make it huge.
Some other effects can put, you can mill yourself, whatever. Like you could, if you traumatize yourself, this is one-shotting, right? With trample?
Yeah, almost.
Getting there.
When it says land card, like, so you have a shy out.
No, that's not a
That
land
doesn't work.
card. That's
Right,
just
so-
it does
so
not
it
work
said
with that.
land card to intentionally stop.
Yeah, land card does not work with things that have like their things changed.
Right. Okay.
It's just like what's printed on the card.
Makes him way less cool.
I think it's not that bad.
I love a life from the loam.
Yeah, no, I think it's like a C.
Yeah, I think he's cool. And
But everything's a
there's
C,
probably
but-
some weird busto stuff people do.
I was
Big
thinking-
landfall.
I was thinking D originally, but I think it's a C. I don't know. I think it's better than some of these cards. I think. What do you think? I don't know. Do you guys have an opinion? Maybe it.
Yeah, I think it's.
I might
think
even maybe put in a low B.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm looking at these and I'm like, maybe better than
Yeah,
this.
I think a little B is probably fine because anything that has to do
Sure.
with like recurring lands and stuff in Simic is gonna
Be good.
Can I
it's gonna be
go?
good.
Can I go here?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, how often have we seen a Splendid Reclamation be just an insane card in Commander?
That is a good thing you can do with this because you're incentivized. But it's so broken. Splendid Reclamation and the creature that does it too.
World Shaper.
Yeah. Oh, this is a cool one, kind of.
It's
it's a dragon.
I like this one. Tanazir Quandrix. It's a 5-mana 4/4 Elder Dragon, like Elder Dragon Highlander takes.
Oh my God!
It's a 4/4 flying and trample. When it enters the battlefield, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever he attacks, you may have the base power and toughness of other creatures you control become equal to Tanazir Quandrix's power and toughness until end turn.
I feel like you would only need one of those abilities for this to be like an actual card, right? Like I feel like it could be a real card without that double effect. Like it'd be like a Pathbreaker Ibex kind of thing. Not exactly, but like a little bit similar.
Yeah,
I wanted to push him a little more.
Yeah, a little push. Do a little more things, right? It's on target creature, not all your creatures, which is unfortunate. I mean, probably would be broken if it was all of them, maybe, but I don't know. This is interesting, right? Like, I do like the idea of like a Simic combat deck, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like a turn 1 Mana Dork into turn 2 like Wood Elves or something, into turn 3 Tanazir, and turn 4 attack somebody for 12.
Yeah, that's cool. Alternatively, you could do like a favorite card, Eli, Mana Gorger Hydra.
Yeah,
That's a fun card with Tanazir.
that's a good one to double. Yeah.
or like an evolved creature or something stupid like that. I don't like. It's just a decent body. Like, I've always been impressed every time that I've seen like an Elder Dragon or just otherwise like a something along the lines of a 4/4 to a 6/6 flying creature. Always becomes relevant, like that it like hits you once, hits you twice, and you're like, wait a second, I could just be dying and I don't have anything to deal with this, like over the course of many turns. So it's a big body. I don't know, right. Thomas.
Yeah.
You got an EDH take on this card?
Yeah, I think he's pretty sick. He's pretty alright. That double +1/+1 counters works out really good outside of Simic, because there's a lot of cards that really want. I think of Rohan.
Yeah,
that's fucking sweet, right? But even like Forgotten Ancient or something like that really benefits super well from that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the token thing with attacking him, and he's an all around. He's a solid dude. I wouldn't.
I think if I had to make a choice of like my 5 commanders, I might make this. Might be one of them. I could see making this.
You know what I kind of like the idea of this card is this is a card where you can play him as your commander, and you can play like a one-off like big token creation spell, and not feel like you have to play token payoffs, because this is just enough of a pay. It's just like an overrun.
Yeah,
I like that. So I don't know if I'm feeling like a B tier or like something like that. I'm feeling like a B-ish.
I'm feeling B.
I like it more than some of these, honestly.
I think I do too.
I think I like
Thomas.
Sure. I kind of thought he was more. It feels more like a C to me.
Yeah, I mean that's because Thomas, you're allergic to attacking.
Yeah, I don't like attacking.
Makes you not the biggest
fan. Yeah, it's just like, I'm going to be open. Yeah, B's probably fine.
I want to put him here.
The overrun is really good. The double encounters is really good.
Maybe even here.
And if it doubles, it's probably good.
Does this offend you, Eli?
No,
better than
that makes me happy.
Better than the Slogurk, man.
Oh no, that's not Slogurk. That's
sorry, the other frog.
That's
oh boy, Thomas.
Here we go.
This is the epitome of.
This is Simic.
This
is what all Simic strives to be. We've got Tatiova, Benthic Druid, 5 mana, 3 in a Simic, legendary Merfolk Druid. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Simple, straight to the point.
Remember when we read Aesi or whatever the diet? It's like that, but like different.
But just is better.
Everyone knows what this card does. I feel.
Yeah. It's cards. It's like I say, it's emblematic of what Simic is and what it does.
There's a high powered like 4-color deck that I made to be like a combo deck, and I play this in the deck just as like one of the best card draw spells I can play, and that's I feel like that says something of just being like Tatiova. Play a fetch land, crack a fetch land, maybe have another land to play a rampant growth or something, right? Like just do things that you want to be doing.
Yeah, it's just busto.
And insane. As a commander, you can play. I know our friend Isaiah had a very epic
very good.
No rare like Prince. So you play like uncommons and commons. Is that what that's called? Prince. Whatever. No rares. He made a deck originally. With Tatiova as the commander, and a lot of stacks cards that make you like bounce lands to your hand when you play spells. They don't untap them.
And the Confounding Conundrum, I think it is.
Yeah, like what's the card that you like? I don't know, you untap like 1 or 2 lands a turn or something. It's like, oh yeah, I guess that makes sense when you're just like drawing a ton of lands and.
I don't know if this was if he had a different Tatiova deck.
He did it before then.
Okay. I remember
he made it into a real deck.
A lot
later.
of people,
Frozen Aether
might not think this is any better than Aesi. Some people might be like, well, what's the real difference? There is one combo I remember him doing with Ancient Tomb and Mystic Sanctuary. Is that the
put it back in your hand? From the graveyard?
So if you have those and a Ghostly Flicker, you tap those 2 lands for the Ghostly Flicker. You play that, you flicker those lands, they come back. And you gain back the 2 life that you took from the Ancient Tomb.
Yeah, you get the 2 life, and then the Ghostly Flicker goes in the graveyard.
You draw it back, because it puts it on top of your library, and then you draw a card.
And 1 more.
So you're up a card every time you do that.
So it's draw your deck then, in that case.
That's pretty cool.
The life gain mattering. Let's go. You could do that with, I guess, a couple of... I mean, do it with Temple of the False God, Eli. Kick a Chad.
Oh, yeah.
And you wouldn't need the life. But Ancient Tomb's like a better card you most of the time, right? So I don't know how much.
But get this though, he also runs. It's a pretty sweet tech card. called Flooded Shoreline.
You want to read that?
I do. It's an enchantment. 2 blue. It has an ability. 2 blue, return 2 islands you control to your hand. Return target creature to its owner's hand.
And then if you combine that with...
This thing, it does some fucking work.
If you combine that with effects that go very well in a Tatiova deck, like Exploration and Burgeoning, and even what was this, Jadzi or whatever, like this guy here that like lets you like put a bunch of lands from your hand into play. The back half of that.
Yeah, you'll always have lands to do stuff, and then you can start bouncing and playing. Oh my!
So Eli, you were saying earlier that there's maybe an argument for which one is better between Aesi and Tatiova. Do you have a opinion on that?
I think Tatiova's a little bit better. That might be,
I think so too.
That might be the trauma.
I want to put Tatiova like here, like above Edric. Maybe, I don't know. What do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think she's a real house.
Do you think it's even better than that?
I think she might be better than Coma.
What do you think, Eli?
Strong words, Thomas. It's possible.
It might be.
Every deck like that I've seen, it's just as if not more miserable.
Yeah, maybe it's fair to say that because of just like the strict strength of cards like Burgeoning and Exploration, just being like the downside of those cards is you run out.
Well, it's like I was given that example with Tanazir Quandrix. You can have 5 mana pretty easily, I think, on turn 3.
Yeah, if you play a Manadork and a Ram spell.
Yeah. I don't think it's that hard to achieve that. I think there's enough redundancy of those two like pieces of like types of ramp that
even like there's ways to do it without playing a Manadork too, because you might not want to play Manadork in a Tatiova deck, right? But that's okay. Let's I'm cool with this here if you guys are cool with that. It's absurd. This is like the card that, is kind of one of the reasons why Eli and myself, maybe Eli more so, is kind of a hater on Simic, but that's okay. We respect him for it. Eli, you want to do the other Tatiova?
Yeah, let's talk about a cooler Tatiova. Tatiova, Steward of Tide. She costs green, blue. It's a 3/3 Merfolk Druid. Land creatures you control have flying, and whenever a land enters under your control, if you control 7 or more lands, up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land.
So I have can I make a comment on this card? It's that I played the Azorius card that put counters on lands and made them creatures.
Noyandar?
I played Noyandar for a little bit, and it's really not as much of an upside. It's kind of a downside in some sense. I really don't like making my lands creatures. They die.
Yeah, and it's not even a mate. That's just what happens.
When it says it becomes a elemental creature, does that mean it no longer is a land anymore? I think that's the case, because it doesn't say in addition. It says it become. Oh, it does. It's still. Yeah. I missed that last text. Yeah. Okay, so you can keep putting the. Oh wait, no, it doesn't put counters on it like Noyandar does. So you can't like stack it up.
Spreads them out.
I don't like that.
So you make your opponents play mass land destruction with their board wipes.
Yeah. It is cool though.
I take it back. Maybe this isn't cooler. This is terrible.
I don't know, you have flying though. I think that's neat. And the other kind of land support stuff would be
one thing that
you play other cards that animate your lands and then give them flying. Yeah.
I mean, Thomas, you just want to turn all your lands into creatures, and I know you love doing that.
I do.
In your mono green deck that you used to play.
Oh, yep, Eudora, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, get that shit.
You play Escape Shift and you make them all into creatures?
Yeah, you make them all into forests.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, they're already forests, but yeah.
But you'll make them forests again.
Yeah.
And then you can turn them back into...
How to change all of your islands into forests by turning them into creatures and then... I think it's like a C or a D.
Yeah.
I think it might be a D, guys.
Yeah.
Better. It's got. Yeah, I can't say it's better than straight tutoring.
Like you said at the start of the video, Thomas. The lands are going to be safe, right? They'll be totally fine. No, they're not going to be safe anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she actually makes it worse.
Where do you guys want?
She might be one of the worst ones there.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. We're getting near the end here. We got Tawnos, the Toy Maker. Whenever it's a 5-mana 3/5 human advisor, whenever you cast a beast or bird creature spell, you may copy it, except the copy is an artifact in addition to the other types.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to think about this because think there might be a couple beasts that aren't the worst card in the world, but I don't know if there are any birds that aren't the worst
there's that new
card.
bird from the Warhammer Commander decks. It's 6 mana, and when it ETBs, you draw 3 cards, and it's like a 6/6.
Yo, you can pay 6 mana to draw 6
Yeah,
cards.
and get
Yo.
2 6/6 flyers, dude.
It's an artifact.
Hell yeah.
I don't think it does that much that's interesting, personally.
Yeah, there's
No,
probably
I
some
think,
good ones.
I think the
we're
effect's
forgetting,
pretty
but-
lazy. Or the
Yeah.
ability's pretty lazy. The
Well,
design is
there's
lazy.
another
It's insane.
commander on this list that's kind of just this, but
Better.
better, I think. So.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't want to be building around birds and beasts, personally.
And also, I can't see this card without getting reminded of the Command Zone ad that they did.
Oh, no.
Where they have Ashnod and Thanos, and just I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's probably
traumatic.
best
I think
not.
Thanos fits. I feel like he's a cooler. He's not green. He doesn't deserve to be green. I feel like him as red blue. So whatever. But I'm thinking like D,
Yeah.
like better D maybe like here.
See that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Maybe he's just worse.
But maybe, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
I
you
don't
aren't
know.
gonna. Bro, you play a Stormcrow? What you doing, my
Yeah,
guy?
right, we had nice artifact Stormcrow, bud.
This might be our most well-rounded looking tier list so far.
Yeah, we got the standard. We got the standard deviation, or what? Not that the curve, the bell curve. That's what I meant.
Oh, up next,
Thomas,
good one
go
here.
for it.
All right, here we've got one, like probably the second
Homie just got.
epitome of Simic here.
Yeah.
Thrasios, Triton Hero is Simic. Just 2 mana. I love it. Merfolk Wizard, 4, scry 1. Then reveal the top card of your library if it's a land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, draw a card. It's got a partner, 1/3.
Bro, this guy foreshadowed Avatar: Way of Water.
He did. I'm pretty sure he was inspired by James Cameron's. Actually, James Cameron might have used it as a concept for it.
That's crazy.
For Avatar, I think. But yeah, Thrasios, he's a house.
He's kind
Just
of a little
fucking house.
bitch, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't have any fucking legs, dude. What a loser. Wait, does he? Holy shit.
Yeah, he's got legs down there. You see
Oh,
that?
what? He's just wearing like a dress or something?
Might be a tail.
That's insane. I thought that was like his tail. Like,
I did
he was
too.
like
I never
like a
looked
mermaid or
closely at
something.
him, yeah.
A merman.
How you gonna put Gretchen in C and give this fucking guy with legs and a tail a S or whatever we're gonna give it?
Because it doesn't cost man. Because it doesn't cost colored mana and his ability.
Yeah, that is a big difference.
And he's a partner. Like
Yeah.
you get an additional card with this guy.
You do get an
With
additional
her,
card.
You just get like the additional thing you get is disappointment.
Eli, do you ever look at this card and just think like, yeah, this looks like a Josh Lee Kwai card?
Oh yeah, like 100% associated with him for the longest time until I played against my friend Charlie at the game shop that I was talking about earlier. Yeah, it's a really good card. It's I've seen it with Seedborn Muse too many times.
Yeah, it's so disgusting.
Lazy, but so good.
I feel like
too
with
good.
I feel like the funny thing about that is like with that the scry actually makes a big difference because I feel like if you're doing the Seedboard Muse thing, you're literally just trying to like scry into as many lands as you can, so you can just like, you know, just keep.
Thrasios
Getting
is kind
more-
of like
a
a
feedback loop,
snowballing
yeah.
ability. Like it starts giving you the mana to start using his ability more often and drawing more cards.
Yeah, you crazy situation, but you have like let's say you have a Seedboard Muse and 16 lands, right? Like a ton. Okay, you use it 4 times, put 4 lands into play. Next on the next person's turn, now you have the ability to put 5 into play, then 6. Then you know, it does that. So
He's the ultimate mana sink, though. Like
he really
it's
is.
insane.
I think what you were saying, Thomas, though actually reigns true is the fact that Gretchen with another partner like is a big deal. Like having the ability to have like a second card in your command zone, so you can afford to like just keep hitting lands and stuff like that. You know, I like it.
Yeah. See,
So-
it ain't a meme. Gretchen just ain't that good.
You guys thinking S tier or
I
what?
think it's
yeah.
I think it's so cool how they decided like a couple of the partner commanders, which partner is inherently already card advantage. They're like, what if they also just drew cards really well?
What if they
What if we made
card
this like?
advantage on card advantage?
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
Yeah.
What if we made these couple partners like better than all the other ones, so that like whenever there's a partner deck, like it's like Thrasios plus the fun one you want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thrasios plus the freaking Orzhov, like the guy that like floats in the air.
Thomas, does it piss you off that some people might be looking to make a Simic Merfolk deck and they're like, I'm not going to play Kumeno, I'm going to play Thrasios just because it's better. He's a Merfolk.
Kameno, was that the that was the guy where you actually
That was
That's
the
this guy here.
actual one that actually
Yeah.
cares about Merfolk, and people would probably be like, I'm going to play Thrasios because it's just better. I hate that.
Yeah, I think Like, if you're going for, like, a combo or something, it's probably better to play him. But if you want to go for cool style fun,
Exactly.
you know, you play the cool one.
You know what we say, Thomas? The rule of cool.
The rule of cool, dude.
Yeah, but I don't know where I want to put it up here.
I was feeling like A tier.
You feeling A, feeling S? What do you want?
I'm feeling just like probably blanket S, just low S by himself.
You okay with that, Eli?
Sure.
You want to just go like here or like above AC or below or just the bottom or something?
I'd maybe put him below AC. I don't know. It's
Because just by himself.
Costs you mana to use his ability, you know, have to pay mana. But I feel like it at least for maybe it's just my like he just embodies S, even if he doesn't deserve it. He just feels like it, right? It's just how ubiquitous like it is because the partner thing of like he's just in every deck, right?
Right. I'm just thinking like if we think like objectively, like 4 mana, like draw a card on a
not that crazy.
It doesn't
Not that
seem
good,
that obscene,
Like,
but it's all the other things. That
if
go
he
with
didn't
it.
have partner, he'd probably be higher than a.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He'd
Like
probably be like a C.
Probably like he might actually not be S tier in that sense because he's like not that insane, but like he always comes up like even like in all the strong decks, like he's just
got
the
the
partner.
reputation. If you see somebody with a Thrasios deck, it kind of tells you something about what kind of game they're looking to play, right? Like, do you guys make that same assessment?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a combo deck, and they're just going to draw everything with.
Yeah, and even if it's not a combo
he might
deck,
even be like a backup plan too.
Yeah,
he's just that good.
Yeah, I think the mana. Okay, yeah, the mana sink like outlet to win the game for the infinite, like a Rings of Barrowhead combo or something is a lot. I know that's a Josh thing. I think he does at least one back in the day.
All right, up next we have Tishana, Voice of Thunder. It's a 7 mana Merfolk Shaman. She's a star because her power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. She says no, you have no maximum hand size, and when she enters the battlefield, draw a card for each creature you control. I feel like this is like Prime Speaker Zagana is like a go tall. This is the go wide version of that, and I kind of like it.
I think it's cool. I like that it's that different axis, like you said. There's a couple other go wide commanders that we put on this list that maybe think it go wide, and I think I like those, at least some of those, a little better than this. But this is still nice because it draws a lot of cards, right? Theoretically.
Yeah. You ever play this one, Thomas?
I have actually, not as a commander, but I've played it just in decks, and I was actually just about ready to shit all over it until you brought up the good. You know, it's more of a wide thing.
I'm kind of with you though a little bit, Thomas.
Yeah, because I think what really got me was that it's 7.
Yeah, it's a big difference. I feel
that's kind of big, and you get way fewer cards than Zagana. But I guess it being 7 is appropriate because by that time you're probably going to have a shit ton of creatures. But then also you're spending 7 mana to just draw a bunch of cards that you couldn't have already drawn before turn 7. Or whenever you need to cast her, you know.
Like it probably feels good to just be like play her, draw 4. Like it probably feels good, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No, and the infinite hand size is also very nice, especially when you're going to be especially when you're going to be
actually it is. This is one of the cards where it makes sense because
you're going to be filling your hand up real big.
You play Zagana and you're like, I have 13 cards in my hand. You know, you're whatever. You play this, you have 13 cards in your hand. Okay,
Spencer, you described with Zagana playing it just to draw the one card.
Yeah,
I think this card is kind of unfortunate because somebody could like dick you out of the card draw by wiping your board like before you have the mana to play her.
Yeah, I think it's a significant.
I mean, I guess she still gives you the 1 right from herself, but
unless they kill her, which would be kind of epic. I think it's a significant bit worse than Zagana, but I don't think it's like that bad. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you care about the no maximum hand size, I mean,
that's nice.
That's something on there, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about her. I think I like them both.
Yeah, I'm feeling
in different ways.
Are you okay with putting it like in the I don't think it's better than Kaidel here. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or do you want to put it like up with Zagana here?
You're probably what are the situations in which you're gonna draw more cards from this than you would off of Zagana, because you'd have to have like a bunch of tokens or like a bunch of mana dorks.
It feels like you need to like work for it more because with Zagana, I play Mana Gorge or Hydra, and then I play the game, and then I draw 10.
Yeah, you could just play one big creature on its own and then curve into that.
Yeah. But like you said, no max mana size is kind of something versus Zagana, but I think it's like a B tier personally.
Yeah.
Like probably better than this other flyer guy. Maybe worse. Because
I like Tanazir better.
This is the other like go wide deck, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go below Tanazir, maybe below the Frog. What do you think?
How do you feel about that, Thomas?
Put him in B tier?
Yeah.
I mean, it is draw.
Do you want to go a little higher or lower? What do you want?
I think that's probably fine. Because just that raw draw power is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the only real deterrent I have with him is the mana cost.
All right, you good to go quickly and finish this up here? Going a little long, of course, but that's
This
fine.
feels like a Spencer card, the next one here.
We didn't need to
Yeah.
speed too much.
Can I read it? Is it me? Is
Yeah,
it my
go for
turn?
it.
Okay, this is a 3-mana 6/6. This is a Spencer card for sure. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. A 3-mana 6/6, Elder Giant, not to be confused with Elder Dragon. And when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. When Uro enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Then you may put a land from your hand into the battlefield, and it has an escape cost of 4, green, green, blue, blue, and exile 5 other cards from your graveyard to play it from your graveyard, and it won't get sacrificed. I think this card is actually really cool. I'm a known hater of effects that like there's a buddy of ours, Jesse, who plays cards like a little 1-drop or 2-drop creature that come into play and put a land from your hand into play, right?
Oh yeah, what is it, like Scrounging Bandar, the little monkey thing that comes in and has reach and.
But this is more akin to like an Explore because it draws the card, then you can put a land into play, so it's like not just like card disadvantage. And if you're able to escape it later in the game, you start giving that trigger multiple times a turn. It's like a Sun Titan kind of thing where like you draw the, it's when it enters and attacks. It's huge as well. I mean, all of these effects, all of these like escape cards are huge for their mana cost because they're balanced around escaping them. But I think I just like I would be happy just like playing this on 3, just to like be like a rampant growth in the command zone. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's never bad, right?
Mm-hmm. I think yeah, and then later it's cool, and I know you can like play it and like blink it before it gets sacrificed. Like that's a mechanic that some people do, like to get an extra card to draw / land.
Josh Lee Kwai famously did some pretty degenerate stuff with this card.
I don't recall what he did.
Just a lot.
A lot?
Yeah. And also gained a bunch of life to make it harder to kill. I think actually he did lose that game somehow.
But the life gain matters
Probably
too.
deserved it.
Yeah, I think Jimmy milled him out actually because he drew too many cards.
Ooh, that's embarrassing.
This card says like B to me.
Oh, absolutely. It's a very solid card. Like, and plus his reputation kind of precedes him a little bit because ran such a muck in Standard and.
Yeah, he was real. And
yeah.
did he get banned in Modern? I think did he get banned?
I think possibly. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure they banned him in something.
Yeah.
And he's just an all around value, just baby bad boy, stinky, lovey, poopy, yum yum yum.
I think I want to go like here or here.
The art's fucking sick too.
Do you guys have a preference for anywhere
For
around?
B?
I think I want to go up here somewhere.
Or attacks. Yeah. Yeah, that seems kind of sick.
Yeah, high B.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he does anything like that crazy, but he ramps and draws cards, right?
Yep.
I mean, I guess it's just one of them because it's not like it does.
Yeah.
You have to put the card from your hand into play.
I'm
but
sure the escape is relevant as well sometimes.
yeah, and you don't even need to like mill yourself. You just like put
Yeah.
cards in your graveyard by playing the game. Mm-hmm. Okay, Thomas, go for it.
All right, here we've got Verizal, the Split Current. He costs X and Simic, Legendary Serpent. Verizal, the Split Current, enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each mana spent to cast it. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, you may remove 2 +1/+1 counters from Verizal. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. I'm just going to say, what the hell did I just read? This guy is got to be one of the weirdest.
Yeah.
Like, I was not expecting that second one.
I've
Kicked spells? Kicker spells?
notably, I think in the pilot episode of EDH Takes that was kind of unreleased, we talked about
I
this
remember
card.
that, yeah.
And it's just kind of weird, right? Like I feel like it doesn't quite get to what you want it to do.
I feel like it's cool in theory, and
Yeah.
then you look up the kicker spells and find out that you're kind of disappointed because
Yeah, they're all just kind of bad.
there's like a couple of good ramp ones that you could copy.
And you're like, I guess Rite of Replication, I guess, and like that's
That's a good one. That's probably the best one.
So you
Yeah.
can copy kicker creatures. It does work with that, but
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that's neat.
what are you gonna do? Like copy your like some of the kicker creatures are like legendary and like it's
Yeah, I'm sure there's good cards we're not thinking of,
and
but
it's also unfortunate that if you don't want to, like you say, you don't want to run the kicker route.
yeah.
There's no reason to play him.
Well,
Like, you can't.
that's
like,
true.
You could. Oh, I'm gonna spend 7 mana on him to make him a 5/5. Wow, that's.
No, he becomes a 7/7. He gets as many
that's right.
counters as the.
Well, still, like,
So one thing that I think is
nothing?
really cool and also tragic is that they decided to put like this like commander tax like relevant like effect on such a dumb card.
Yeah.
If they put if there was like a card that did cool things and it had like that, you know, counter is equal to the mana spent to cast it like for commander tax, that would have been so much cooler.
It's like that. It's like a Jund guy, isn't he? He's a Hydra that whenever you know.
You're thinking of the X spell card?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because he also does he
Yeah.
benefits from a command tax. Like that's
oh
sick
yeah,
as hell.
Prosh.
No,
No, he's thinking of one of the X spell like
I'm pretty sure he was a Jund. Alex had a deck with him as a commander. Gyrus, is that his name?
it's one of the cards from like 2 years ago, I think. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But maybe I don't remember. But about Verazol, I think the best thing you can do with it is sacrifice Tacoma because it's a serpent. But I'm feeling like D or F, honestly.
F-tier, get him out of here.
What do you think, Eli?
King of the F tier.
King of the F tier.
King of the Fs.
He's split current, but not a split decision.
All right, up next
Oh,
we have Volo, Guide to Monsters. Again, I'm getting Command Zone ad flashbacks.
oh God, I hate that one.
4 mana, 3/2 human wizard. Whenever you cast a creature spell that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, copy that spell.
Now, was this the card you were referring to when we were talking about the?
Yeah, it's like
Thanos?
Thanos, but kind of better because you're obviously going to build in such a way that you don't run into the downside of him, right? So
He's Thanos, but instead of playing the one good bird in your Thanos deck, you just have to play one good bird in this
I
deck.
think I recall at the first EDH takes EDH Extravaganza, a friend of ours played Volo, and the next turn or 2 turns later played a Consecrated Sphinx and got 2 of them. So that seems pretty good.
No complaints about that. I think Thomas. I think this card's like strong. Have you seen this card played before?
Yep.
How was it?
Oh, I've just seen it. I think I've just seen it on like game nights.
Oh,
It was on
okay.
game nights, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was
I-
Jimmy that played this, or was someone?
That sounds right.
That sounds right.
Or at least one of those channels, because yeah, I saw it. It's cool ass card.
I do like the concept. So you could just like not care. Like, you could just like not think about this mechanic and just build a normal deck, and then it'll just come up when it does. Or you can be like kind of cool and be like, I'm gonna play a deck where every one of my creatures is a different card type, and you'd be like, I'm gonna play the the Highlander,
Yep.
one of every creature type, and that's also kind of fun. But I feel like you just build a deck normally and maybe include a couple random card types.
Yeah.
But
But playing him that way would be super cool.
It would be.
I think that's what makes it really appealing.
So another card that reminds me of what Thomas looks like. Your classic purple suit there.
Oh,
Yellow
yeah.
hat.
Yep, and my that little frill around my neck. I love those.
Yep.
your ginger beard
My ginger beard. Yep, and big red head.
and your mug of alcohol that you're known
yeah.
to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a defining characteristic.
Yep, my crippling alcoholism. Is
Yeah, let's go.
Character defining trait.
I'm kind of thinking it might be an A tier, honestly, but B is fine for me too. But I'm
it
thinking
might be an A tier.
I'm thinking it might be. I might like it more than Esix, honestly.
Yeah, I think maybe.
How does that make you feel,
I think
Thomas?
that's reasonable because you don't have to rely on any of the token spells. You just cast your Consecrated Sphinx or whatever the hell your avatar grows, because you're not only going to run one avatar.
Yeah,
no.
playing Volo on like turn 3 and then playing some great 5 mana creature.
Just
next
anything,
turn,
right?
Yeah.
Copying it
It's just
seems
dope as
really
hell.
good.
Hell,
Well,
even,
you could do no.
even playing something shitty like a Thragtusk is gonna
Yeah.
be fine.
Oh, Thragtusk ain't shitty though. Thragtusk's good.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like a commander game breaking card. Like
No,
you know,
yeah, that's true.
it's not like it's doubling your mana or
Yeah,
something,
you play
right?
Birds of Paradise. Oh my god,
What if you
that'd be so much better than Thanos.
think there's a way that you can someone plays a dockside and you find a way to like be able to cast that dockside, and then you cast a dockside and copy a
God, I
dockside.
hate dockside. All I heard was dockside, and I turned my brain off.
Although it probably makes all of the cards that like untap your lands a lot better, like Cloud of Fairies and Peregrine Drake and stuff like that.
That's a good.
I don't. It seems strong.
Peregrine Drake.
True.
God, I hate
Let's
Peregrine
ban Peregrine Drake.
Do it.
Remember when Josh was playing his Orvar deck and he was like, "I built this deck to not combo." Oh, oopsies! I played a Peregrine Drake.
Peregrine Drake is just a value Peregrine Drake, you know.
I think
I'm not gonna combo with this.
I think there was probably some contractual obligation where he had to say that because they're like, PR's like, oh, Josh, your image is getting too bad. Say this to make you sound more humble.
It's like in it's like in The Boys where it's like you're down 3 points with this crowd, this demo.
Yeah, because they just know you as the combo.
Like how I said, like in The Boys and not like in life when that's like a thing, like in real life, the thing that
Oh, like a social credit system? Isn't that China?
No, I mean just like marketing and stuff like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
your demographic, whatever. Eli, go for this one for me.
We got Vorl of the Hulklade. It's a 1 and a Simic for a 1/4 human merfolk. That is sick.
Hell
I don't like the implications of that.
That's pretty weird, champ.
It's a Simic and tap it to double the number of each kind of counter on target artifact, creature, or land.
This is a classic commander card, right? Like this is you've seen this card. You've seen someone play this deck in 2015.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of card like new player season. They're like, holy shit, it's crazy,
bro. It really
such a trap, though.
I feel like it kind of is. Like it can go crazy, right? Like obviously, especially if you're doubling the counters on something that like makes mana. Mm-hmm. But I guess I like how it says artifact, creature, or land, so you can't double your loyalty counters.
Yeah, what counters are we putting on our lands, boys?
Vivid counters.
Holy shit!
Is that no? There's got to be more than that, right?
There's some.
Is
counter.
there like
We're.
I have no idea.
Double the cumulative upkeep counters on my.
Oh, there you go. Let's go. Wait, Glacial Chasm.
Yeah, to kill myself.
Yeah, Glacial Chasm.
I like the idea.
I think
that
you just broke this card, dude.
you can double the counters on a Gideon Planeswalker when you make it a creature.
Oh,
in white.
Yeah. Holy shit.
The thing I don't like about this card actually, it's like the fucking 2 mana and tap is super awkward. You want to just like play something like big and then double the shit on it, but like you gotta like not mana, man. Mana, it's hard to do. Mana sinks kind of suck sometimes. Not mana sinks, but like mana costs.
Yeah,
on
and
these
if I
abilities.
wanted to like put a bunch of counters on Vorl to try and do like a weird Voltron thing because he just gets huge, like I have to decide between attacking with him or doubling the counter. So you just like try and go double until he's like 21 plus power, and then somebody finally kills it.
Yeah,
like,
and
well,
then
I
they're
just
just
just did nothing for 4 turns.
Yeah. I think
Kill myself.
I think it's a trap, like you said,
is.
Thomas.
I
Really
think he's
do.
really only good in like the 99 if you need a card specifically to double something that's more important, like your slow Gurk or whatever.
I feel like I'd never put it in the 99 either.
No,
In the year of our Lord 2023,
2023.
I have
sure.
played. Like the best thing that I feel like you can do. I mean, you double the counters on like a Everflowing Chalice like multiple times, like or the Evolve card that draws you cards when it gets counters, right? Like
That'd be kind of a funny build to put it with just artifacts that just have counters on them. And
that's
stuff.
what I've seen. I've seen people
pretty-
do that, right?
that's
That's what I've
pretty-
Yeah,
seen.
win with your Darksteel Reactor.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
you
pretty
can
goofy.
Eli, the 3 mana rock that gets the counters. Then when you get to 8, you sacrifice it. And
Hey, there we go.
I love that card, the Ring.
I do. I've had it happen multiple times, Thomas. It's possible.
It is. I have it in my Sealy deck. I think I've done it like twice, but 3 times. But one was a pity. They just want to let me do
Yeah,
it.
that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
You have to be like, guys, it's gonna be so cool. You get to see the thing happen, and then they're like, okay, I'll let it happen. And then they Vandal Blast you the next
Yeah.
turn.
Or they're just like,
Like,
okay,
you get one turn
you're
with the
dead.
rings.
Yeah. Oh, I love that card.
those
That
that's
card's
the
so
the
cool.
real ring of power.
It
Okay,
is, dude.
that bumps us up a little bit.
Yeah, bumps
From
up to-
from a D to a C or what?
I think it bumps it up from being behind the ticket guy to.
It's not that
behind-
bad, Thomas.
I just can't. I can't. I don't.
I still think it's like a D tier, maybe.
I
don't
guess.
know.
Yeah, it does do the double. Don't you dare put it in front of my Imbraham.
I'm just thinking, Thomas. I'm just thinking.
You're thinking in the wrong direction.
What do you want, Eli?
Oh, it might be the best D tier actually.
What?
What do I-
I'm liking the dark.
D for-
I'm liking the dark steel. D for dark steel reactor.
D for betrayed.
D for Doral of the Hulk Clade.
D for Dora.
Thomas, what do you want to put it?
I want to put him on the list.
Give me a placement.
You said the top of D.
Yeah, what do you want?
I think he should be below this guy.
Below this guy?
Yeah.
Okay,
There we go.
that's fine.
Yeah, just
Nice.
because I don't want to see.
Oh
I don't want to see him at the front
my
end.
god! I gotta read this next card because this card, I fucking hate this card, dude. No flame, but like this card does nothing,
Big D tier
man.
girl.
I know. There's like the third Zagana, right, or second? I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
only
it was, yeah.
4 mana for a. Zagana Utopian Speaker. This is 4 mana for a 4/4 Merfolk Wizard. When Zagana Utopian Speaker enters the battlefield, if you control another creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, draw a card. So you might draw one. And it has the ability of 6 mana and adapt 4, which just, if it has no counters on it, put 4 counters on it. Mm-hmm. And then it has a third ability, each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has trample. Man, I'm a kind of a hater. I don't value trample that much on... This is supposed to... Yeah.
Conditional trample.
But, like, this is, like, shitter that maybe draws 1 card, gives your conditional creatures trample, and has a mana sink that you never want to activate.
Yeah. Dude, this card just kind of sucks.
This is like an F, in my opinion.
Yeah, reading
dude.
this one, it's like you could just use that 3 mana one that just gives them all unblockable.
Yeah.
The plus that waterfall guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. This card, I already...
It's 4, but yeah,
This
these
is-
some streams.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
still, that's even better.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or not even better.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the other thing I want to say about this card is that it failed at what its ability says it does.
Yeah.
It failed to adapt.
It failed to adapt
It failed
to a growing time.
Yeah, we should have just left
This is why she got fired from being the prime speaker in the lore.
Yeah, right. Just,
Like, you're not good enough anymore. You don't draw enough cards.
yeah, you're just not getting with the times. You know. You're not
I know you
changing.
guys want to put this in F tier, but Spencer,
Yeah.
it's a 4 mana 4/4.
That is the blessed stat
Yeah.
line, but Eli, this card here, this is a 4 mana 4/4 as well. It's also
That's a good point.
So this card
Yeah.
is a 10 mana 8/8. This is a 10 mana 10/10.
Yeah.
But I guess it draws 1 card in your...
Does she get to be top of the F tier?
Yeah, I guess...
I don't know.
Yeah, if she's the Zagana F tier speaker.
Oh, you read this one. This is Michonne or something like that. No, this isn't Michonne. This is Zimone.
Zimone. So for the final one, we've got Zimone, Quandrix Prodigy. A nice little 2 mana Simic. Legendary Human Wizard. 1 and tap it. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. 4 and tap. Draw a card. If you control 8 or more lands, draw 2 cards instead. So the ability scales. That's
does
pretty
scale.
sick.
Remember when I was talking about how I don't like those effects that just like put a land from your hand into play without drawing a card?
Yeah.
This kind of does that, but like I guess if you pay a bunch of mana,
Yeah, but you see, if you put enough lands into play, you can start drawing cards later.
man. I
You
don't
know,
what do you think, Eli?
I never thought too highly of this card, Spencer, because to be honest, all these uncommon Strixhaven creatures, aside from the Golgari one, Dina, Soul Steeper,
Yeah.
like they're all kind of
Meh.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I did see Matt play this.
I did too.
In his Gates deck,
On turn 2 or something, right? Or early?
and it was kind of decent.
Not that bad.
He put some Gates into play. He drew some cards. It just let him play more Magic.
Yeah, and I think, you know, what more could you want in a Magic game? I just want to play more Magic.
That's
right?
true, but as your commander though,
It lets you do that. I mean, I'd rather see somebody with this than that one Kalesa loser.
the serpent
This
guy
feels like the
at
kind
the
of
F
commander
tier.
that Bradley could make good use
Yeah.
out of. Like, it's very unassuming. It doesn't seem very good. It's just very subtly producing you advantage in a way that's not very offensive to anybody. And then it's also 2 mana, so if it gets swept away in a board wipe, you maybe just play it out, use it to keep going back up, and just... This
So-
really flies under the... This is like what the professor thought about Coma.
Yeah.
This actually flies under the radar.
I feel like this is a kind of card where you really want to have like a Rhystic Study in play, or some other sort of like gradual card draw effects that you don't have to like end up using that 4-mana ability. You can just like be like, okay, I'm gonna pay 1 mana, put a land into play, keep refilling my hand with some other effect, like some like thing that does it every turn, draw a bunch of cards.
Right.
And if that's the case, you have something like that set up, I don't hate it. It's getting mana advantage over the game. It can set you up for a good game.
Yeah, exactly. It just kind of builds you up.
That being said,
it's not an F.
It's not an F. I don't think it's an F, but
I think it's better than a D.
I think it might be a low C.
Yeah.
Maybe
Thomas?
I'm thinking
maybe better than Karuga?
No.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like the best D there was.
All right, hear me out, Thomas. Okay, Karuga comes down,
Yeah.
draws 2 cards for 5 mana. This comes down on 2 and then draws 2 cards for 6 total mana. Because I'm just.
That sounds bad.
I'm using
because if you play him, you pay 5, draw 2. You have to do her 6, draw 2.
I'm using.
You have to have 8 lands.
I'm using Bernie math right now, to try to trick you.
Oh.
Yeah. So Eli, you cool with that, Eli? Just
Yeah,
for the
that's
sake
fine.
of. So this is our list we got so far, and hold on a second. I think we might be able to make this fit on one screen. Oh, let's go. Let's do a little bit of a
now what
look
we like
over
to
real
do
quick, just for a
is-
second.
Yeah.
Look
absolutely.
over the list and decide if you want to change anything around, Thomas, if anything doesn't look right, or if any letters look a little bit light.
I've got an opinion right away, okay? And this is this is a very practical opinion I have here, okay?
All right.
And it's that if one card could be taken out of B tier, it would look really pretty.
Yeah, I was
So,
thinking the same thing.
I feel like we could move up Kydel to the lowest A tier.
Sure.
Does that make you feel okay, Eli?
I like that. I mean, we were giving a lot of props to Thrasios on the basis that it's a partner, and I feel like if that's the case, then Kydel
Should
by
also
virtue of
get
that,
something
should
like that.
maybe be bumped up.
Yeah. Well, that looks... I mean, we can still change things, but that looks more pretty now that it's like that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's do a little bit of a... So we're pretty positive on these top 2 or 3, right? I imagine we want these something around this.
Yeah.
I feel like personally these 3 are like a lot better than the other ones, but it's still... maybe that's not even true, actually. Do you want to put Edric down here? Like a little bit? No, this is like not important, but...
I mean, it doesn't
really change anything,
I
right?
don't really find it. I mean, it's still S tier.
Not offensive in any way,
No.
different, but if there's anything that like if there's anything that's like pickling your plum, as they say, they do say that, by the way.
I want to meet the person.
If there's
that
an
says
itch you need scratched, you just want to be like, this guy goes up a little bit. Just let me know.
I would almost be tempted to say Thrasios maybe isn't S tier, but I think I'm outvoted, and I can see the arguments for
Yeah,
everything. So
I think we should just leave Thrasios.
I think
where
it
he
looks
is.
nice.
Okay.
Hello, in the beginning, you did mention that we weren't judging them on partners.
We don't judge them on partners with cards that are in a different color combination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
so-
them, within their own color, then. Okay.
But I mean, I'm sympathetic to that opinion. Honestly, it might be kind of a base way to get engagement. Just be like, "What the fuck, Thrasios isn't it? What the fuck?"
I just feel like if I'm looking at a Simic deck and it's Thrasios' other Simic color identity partner, I might be less threatened than Imoti or Rashmi.
You want to put it like down here. How about we do this? Or how about we do this?
Maybe it is S tier.
I don't know. I think
That's just so
maybe
much
I've
card
just been
advantage.
conditioned that whenever I see Thrasios, someone's here to throw down.
Yeah, I think that's a good argument.
I don't think
for
I've
it.
seen a casual Thrasios where someone doesn't acknowledge oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just playing it. It's just chill. It's chill. Don't worry
It's
about
just
it.
chill Thrasios.
It's just chill Thrasios.
Just chill.
Like it's not chill Thrasios. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have the opposite problem where somebody pulls a casual player pulls out their Rashmi or their Imoti deck and they don't realize how good it is. I think that's less oppressive than the Thrasios thing where it's just somebody kind of lying to themselves.
Yeah.
It's not that good. It doesn't hold up against literal CEDH decks, so it's not good enough.
Oh no. It doesn't handle against the upper echelons of
there's
decks.
too many people. There's too many Commander players that are having that cruel awakening moment where they walk into a game that they're not prepared for, and they get pub stomped by somebody, and they're like, "Oh man, my deck's terrible. Throw it away. Restart. I have a bad deck." And it's so sad to see that.
You have to play multiple games. You can't just judge it one time.
I
Because
do.
at one time you could get super good and be like, this deck's the best.
That happens though. Like you see the new players be like, oh, I guess they get like a precon or something, and they're just like, or they build their own deck, and they're like, I guess I have to like go to the moon to compete with these people or something. It's like, oh, bro, it's just one game. Like, chill.
Yeah.
People draw their soul ring sometimes. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The one thing that's bothering me here is like we're like one spot away from being like a perfect bell curve, or no a perfect like this, like it's like perfectly even.
My God, yeah.
But I think I might have to just let that slide
because I don't want to put
that seems like too much effort to
I don't
fix.
think there's a B tier worth like throwing down.
Well, we would need to move one of the S tier. We'd have to we have to curb to Eli's demand. So. But I think that's about maybe what we're gonna leave it at, unless you.
So well, hold up.
I've got
something for you.
Okay.
We take Gretchen, right? Move her to F, and then we take.
We need another one in this, not the other way around.
Yeah,
but...
one of these guys and move them down to C.
Oh, I see. I see. So if we did this and then we did like this, it would be
Get your
perfect.
damn hands off him.
Was Gretchen here?
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing just to bring at the end here.
Yeah.
Do you think that Momir Vig as like top of D is a little? Do you think people will be mad at this because they're like, oh, Momir is like a combo commander, it's broken, or do you think you like it where it is?
I just
No respect for it.
I just don't want to hear anything about Lantern Control in this content. I don't.
True.
Yeah.
And with that, Thomas, you got any closing thoughts on this list?
No, I think you made actually it looks very nice, even though it's not a perfect bell curve. I think it looks the most natural out of the ones that I can recall seeing, and I think we all did a very good job. Yeah.
We really appreciate you coming on to do this with us, Thomas. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about or plug, like for the listeners? Anything you wanted to promote or?
Yeah, sure. Well, first I want to thank you guys for having me on here. I think it's been a cool experience. I can't wait to see what the reactions are to such a great color combination. Possibly one of the best ones I have.
One of the best.
Yeah, one of the best. But then I want to give a shout out to my boy Pure Leaf, no sugar, unsweetened. I think they've been in the game for a long time. They really know how to give you a good tea. It's a nice color. It's not dirty. It ain't full of dirt. No leaves. It's just crisp and real and fun. Okay, so if you want to have a good time, you go grab your Pure Leaf, no sugar, unsweetened, real brewed tea. 0 calories from your local store. Hope it's not a Walmart. That's no shade at you. But still. And then I want to give a shout out to, all of you guys for watching these videos and liking and subscribing and participating. And boy, howdy, if I could, what do the nitpicking nerds say? If I could kiss you on the mouth but not make you feel uncomfortable or something.
Was that a thing?
It's a classic Joe Cherry's quote.
If I could do that, I'd do that to every one of you.
Did you guys hear that call to action to subscribe that he just gave? That a professional right there. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah. Subscribe to the EDH.
Yeah, you already said that.
Oh, no, I didn't.
You kind of did.
You want a kiss on the mouth or something?
I want to say, guys, we appreciate Thomas being here. We think he's a fun guy. And if you want to check him out, go to youtube.com/MrBeast. You can...
He's actually he gave Mr. Beast the money.
Yeah.
He just...
Yeah,
like,
I was waiting for a time to reveal this, but, we go way back. We were in the Arms Corps together. And
I think Thomas is actually the guy that, like... He made those people go blind so that Mr. Beast could cure them. Like,
well, you see, it's kind of a I don't mean to make light of such a situation, but it's kind of funny when you think of some people's reactions to Imoti.
Yeah.
Right. They saw the Cascade 8, and rather than give up, they just decided to go blind.
Yeah, it makes me go
have
blind
a chance.
with rage.
Yeah, exactly. The white hot just got them. Oh, and I'd also like to shout out to. Wait, no, I don't need to shout out anyone else. I was going to say, if you also want to catch me, you can check out my Twitter. You just go to Twitter and type in Thomas.
Twitter.com/Thomas.
Yep, Twitter.com/Thomas. Or I'm probably one of the other three. I don't know. I like to change my handle. Very elusive. But yeah.
I just want to say again, thank you, Thomas, for coming on here. And I just want everyone to know, like, Thomas is one of my favorite people to play Commander with, and just one of the funniest people that I know. And I hope that everyone has a Thomas that they can play with.
Right, yeah.
Great. And Thomas, I just want to say, much respect to everyone in the armed service. Semper Fi.
Yep, Delta 8.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next
Thank you guys for
video.
watching.
You guys keep it real, all right? Oh, wait. Are you done? Is it done? I was going to shout out Card Kingdom. Thanks for our sponsor, Card Kingdom.
Great.
Immediately gets a cease and desist from Card Kingdom.